What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Accolonn here, and as always, joined by Rurikhan. We are very happy to be back. Rurikhan, first and foremost, how you doing, bro?
I am exceedingly tired, as per usual. I went to a kill team tournament last weekend, and then yesterday, because at the tournament I met somebody who happens to live really close to me, like we're talking less than 8-minute drive, and basically last night we were playing kill team until 1 a.m. So I think that was a reasonable and adult decision to make. So now I got the closest thing to like a hangover without drinking. That's pretty much how I feel. How are you, Accolonn?
I've been good, dude. I've been good. Just focusing on politics, really. That's been my sort of go-to. My life has been South African politics, world politics. It's been crazy.
What about video games? What video games have you played?
Oh, in terms of video games played, so before I tell you what game I'm playing currently, like what a game I'm addicted to right now, I just need to apologize to the viewers for not being live for the last 2 weeks, guys. We are really sorry.
First time. Actually, wait, it was both times your fault because you didn't pick up the phone the first time.
The first time was my fault.
I couldn't delay.
The second time, you had your kids' Halloween break or something, which meant that you couldn't really do it.
You wanted to reschedule, and I'm a terrible person to reschedule with, and I couldn't reschedule because you had like a photo shoot or something on Thursday.
But I had a photo shoot on Thursday for headshots and stuff, so I couldn't do Thursday.
You mean mugshots? You're going to jail?
No, headshots for acting. I'm joining an agency for acting and stuff, so I had that on Thursday, and I wanted to do it on Friday, but then you had break for Halloween for your kids. So I would say we at least share faults in that. It's both of our fault there. 50-50.
On the second one, it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
But okay, so we are sorry, guys, that we haven't been, and I'm sorry. From my personal perspective, I'm really sorry that we haven't been live for 2 weeks. But a lot has happened in the interim, so we have a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about.
It is crazy, dude. Like, the world imploded and folded in on itself like 3 times.
Yep, like it's been wild. But okay, so in terms of games that I'm playing, I'm currently addicted to Super Fantasy Kingdom.
What the
Do you have any idea what it is? Yeah, dude.
No.
So it is an auto battler, but not in the way that you think. You don't fight specifically. What you do is you have this kingdom that you have to build and upgrade as quickly as possible because every day waves and waves of monsters arrive. And you have these heroes and champions that you have to buy and upgrade that will fight the monsters as they're arriving. So you just have to constantly be upgrading stuff and building buildings. So for example, you build a gold mine and then you smelt down the gold into gold bars, and the gold bars is how you upgrade your champions so that they start doing more damage. So you have a death priest, for example, and he will lock them into place and spawn zombies and stuff that fight on your behalf. And the more you upgrade it, the larger this gets and the more stuff he spawns. And you're just basically surviving these waves, wave after wave after wave. And it is addicting as hell because you have this giant map that,
It almost sounds like a mobile game, but it's not. I'm assuming because
no. It's on. It's on Steam. I was sent this game by Hooded Horse. They sent it to me.
Oh, okay. They do some good stuff. I think they were the ones who published. What was that roguelike? It was really popular. Like this roguelike where you had these knights that would go into stuff. I forget the name.
They sent me
like a legacy.
Dude, they sent me a bunch of games that I just started adding. Because you have He Is Coming, Breachway, Xenonauts, NetEase, Against the Storm, Cataclysmo, Norland, Every Day We Fight, Nine Kings, Heat of the Machine, Heroes of Might and Magic, Olden Era, and Endless Legends. They've sent all of those games to me. And I got stuck into Super Fantasy Kingdom, which is so much fun. I have about 30 hours in it now already, and I can't stop playing it because it is just this wave after wave of attacks. But there's so much more to it, so much depth once you actually get into it that just makes it super fun. And then a game that I want to get into would be Europa Universalis 5.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's some hardcore shenanigans.
Yeah, dude. That's some let's be king and shit. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. I as soon as I'm off the Super Fantasy Kingdom, I'll go into that. What have you been playing?
It's like I've been having more fun with the tabletop stuff that I've been doing with Kill Team, because it's much more of a social experience. Because like, sure, you can play multiplayer games with friends and whatnot, but like, it's a different thing when you're right in their face.
Yes,
it's a different. You're right in somebody's face, and then you see them roll the dice, and the dice goes bad, and you just see all of the joy go away from their eyes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I had situations in the tournament that were so hilarious. Like, so I was fighting Deathwatch, and Deathwatch is like, if not the most powerful kill team right now, they're like tied for the most powerful kill team with a team of Necrons called Canoptic. But it's like, so they're the most powerful kill team, and I'm in there with one of the weakest kill teams, which is the Salvager Dwarves, the ones that I've been painting up. Yeah. And so what happens is, I'm like, okay, so he's got an operative that's got like a really big cannon, but he's not very good on melee. So I charge his big cannon operative to force him to like have to spend a bunch of points to get away from me before he actually shoots. Yeah. But I missed that he had like a melee specialist in the back. And so all of a sudden he turns to me, okay, well, my Deathwatch head taker is now going to charge your leader. And I was like, oh, fuck. And so the Deathwatch kill taker is like a specialist with 2 knives. So that means he's going to fuck you up. He's going to mess you up real bad. So what happens is he charges me and he rolls terribly. And then he has like balance, so he gets to like re-roll one of his dice, and he misses that one too. So he gets like 2 normal hits. And I was like, okay. Oh, that sucks. And I roll, and I score 3 crits with a power weapon on my leader, dude. Oh, dude, nice. And he's just like looking at me, and I was like, yup. Yeah, this is going to happen. This is going to fucking hurt. But he's like, oh, but it's okay, because I'm going to hit you twice, because he gets to hit twice at the start of the fight, and I'm just going to kill you. And I'm like, no, because my leader has a shield, and so I'm going to just take one of your hits away. Yeah. And you hit me once, and now I'm going to hit you with 18 damage.
Oh, very nice.
I fucking murder him on the spot. And that was so good. Like, people started gathering around. It's like, wait, that dwarf's about to kill a fucking Deathwatch operative? What the hell's going
on? So I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to the tabletop, the visceral, sort of in your face kind of feeling.
Yeah, you're right. Like yeah.
I've been, my church, my pastor, as well as one of the, let's call it junior pastors. They're like me. They're nerds, right? So they're like super gamer nerds. And through them, I got involved in board games. Like the one pastor, when he came from America, he brought with him like 15 boxes that came from America, right? And I believe his wife told me 12 of them, just board games.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah. So I've been playing this game called Scythe for like the last...
Oh, yeah. You talked about it last time. Yeah.
Yeah. The last 4 weeks or something, we've been doing the campaign, which is insane, dude, because every single time you read the end of the campaign, and then it ends so ominously. Like, we had this one where there was this giant robot in the middle of the map on the factory, and it's called the Annihilator, right? And the whole campaign, this scenario, is all of us have to try and defeat this Annihilator. The issue is the Annihilator can randomly draw 5 combat cards, and then that's just his combat. No one else can do 5 combat cards, right? So you have to be so geared in order to try and defeat this thing that no one even tried. And then the end of the campaign, they go, no one would challenge the Annihilator. But what they did not know is that he wasn't alone. And then it's like, oh shit, wait, what? Oh. And then it's 11 o'clock at night, so you can't do another campaign. You have to wait a whole week in order to get to the next campaign. It sucks. But one of that visceral moments happened this last weekend. My brother is playing Saxony now, as in German fashion. In this game, Saxony wants to do murder and war. That's their whole thing. They just want to kill as many people as possible.
I would never have expected that from them.
But that's their game plan, is basically just fight as many people as possible. And my brother needs to fight me in order to win the game, basically, to have all of his stars out. And he's like, okay, I'm coming for you. And he puts all of his guys right there on my tile. And it's where my hero stands. Now, my hero has this ability to throw out traps, right? On a tile that he's on, he can throw out a trap. And one of these traps is you lose 2 combat cards. Just the round before, he went to war with another guy, and he played most of his combat cards. So he has like 3 cards left. And he lands on my thing. He doesn't see the trap. And I'm like, okay, well, so before we do this war thing, can you just quickly show me all of your combat cards? Just upside down, I'm just going to choose 2. And he's like, why? I'm like, oh, because you landed on my trap. You've
triggered my trap card.
Yeah. They have to be removed. He's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, 2 of them is now mine. And he's like, no, that's not fair. I'm like, dude, that's the rules of my champion. And he's like, no, but I only have 3. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. You just triggered the trap. And he ultimately begged me to allow him to not do that. Like, just go away. He won't attack. It's fine. It's such a good feeling.
How about I not do that and I just leave instead?
And he's like, yeah, all right, you can leave. Yeah. Just don't attack me again.
There's just something about the whole social experience that I feel like you can't really replicate online, and I really wish more people could experience that, because it's just a different experience. It's just very different when you're playing right in front of someone, you know?
You are so correct, but it is sort of like the same thing as playing with your friends on Discord versus just playing with randoms.
Yeah,
it's the same kind of it's the same kind of thing. Everyone that's ever played a game with their friends on Discord understands that it's a lot more fun than playing with a bunch of randoms, right?
Yeah,
even though it's online. But in real life,
there's something to the social experience of in real life actually.
Yeah, but my point more is the same way that is a difference, right? So you're still playing your multiplayer game with other people, and they're chatting in the chat thingy there.
Yeah.
But then you have your friends on Discord. It completely changes the experience.
Yeah.
Real life is that to online games. Yes, it's still a game that you're playing with other people, but because you can see each other in real time, right? You have snacks on the table. Everyone's sort of, going back and forth. There's a lot of banter going on. Like, you're constantly remarking on what the other guy is doing. And then you can physically feel the energy as the tension goes up. Like, you can feel it. That guy's feeding. You don't get that online.
In the previous tournament, for instance, there was this one shot that I was going to make, which is with a sniper. So my sniper, it was going to fucking destroy this unit. It's like, all I got to do is roll 2s or more. And if I roll 6s, you are so fucked. And so I'm like, okay, 4 dice, 2 or more. 1, 2.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And like, there's more people around. So they're just like, watching go like, oh no. No.
Just like that. It all changes.
It's just like that. Just like, you're fucked. It's over. Yeah, you rolled 3 1s, brother. It is what it is. You're in the ditches.
There genuinely is. And if you have never experienced it, I would highly recommend get yourself a board game, and not Monopoly or any BS like that, like an actual board game. Get a board game and just play it, and you'll immediately understand the magnificence of it.
It's completely different. But yeah, I've been doing that, and other than that, there's some Monster Hunter updates that I've been doing. Like, they did a new Arc-Tempered monster, so obviously did that. And I finished Ninja Gaiden 4 yesterday.
I saw you were playing that.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but it kind of reinforces my view on difficulty modes, which I know that a lot of people disagree with, and I don't fucking care. It's like, listen, to me, as a matter of fact, Ninja Gaiden 4 absolutely reinforced my view to a much more extreme degree, because Ninja Gaiden is a game that is made to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. And it's like, so I get it. Yes, it's hard. So I started playing it on hard difficulty, and it felt like almost impossible.
Okay.
I got to the first boss, died like, I don't know, fucking 15 times, 20 times. I forget how many times I died. And I was like, okay, this is just not going to happen on this. So I bump it down to normal. And then it feels like, all right, after a while of playing in normal, the game starts feeling piss easy. I'm one-shotting not one-shotting, but like killing every boss within first attempt. And then eventually, because like when you're starting to play, you're not playing the actual main character of the series, which is Ryu Hayabusa. You're playing this other ninja called Yakumo. Okay. But you get to a point where you're playing Ryu. And so I'm already kind of like trashing the game as Yakumo. When they give you Ryu, it's like they give you a score at the end of every level. And with Yakumo, I was getting like Bs. The second they give you Ryu, because Ryu is just, I don't know what it is. Because I'm not a fantastic Ninja Gaiden player. I want to put that out there. I'm not amazing at those games.
Okay.
But the second I get Ryu, I'm getting A's on everything. I'm just like shredding the game, like disgustingly, just like shredding everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this feels weird, because now at the beginning it felt almost impossible on hard. Now it feels piss easy on normal.
Yeah.
This is weird. It's really weird. And then you get to a boss all of a sudden, and like the balance just goes completely out of whack. This boss feels impossible again. And then I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I go back, it goes back to Yakumo. Mm-hmm. And then I shred everything, and I get to the final boss, and I kill the final boss in the first try. So to me, it's like there wasn't like a proper progression of difficulty. It escalated inversely. So it started to where it almost felt impossible, and it ended feeling piss easy. Like the final boss, when I mean I beat it in one attempt, I mean the boss barely fucking moved. Like I was just like fucking bam, combo after combo, like he didn't even move.
Yeah.
And then I just beat him, and I was like, oh, that was weird. So I don't know if the intended way was like, well, you're supposed to start on normal, then switch difficulty midway into hard. Is like, that feels stupid. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I think that's dumb. So to me, it's like what they should have done. They should have had a normal mode and an easy mode, and that's it. Because that way you can do the thing where it's like, oh, we can let players that usually don't play these games, they can play it on easy or whatever. And then we have the normal mode that's like properly balanced for the actual difficulty that we want to do. But other than that, the game was a ton of fun. It was really fun. So much gore, dismemberment, and all of that nasty stuff.
That's
really,
always
really
good fun. I would just like to sort of add on to what you just said there. I think my biggest issue with difficulty sliders is the fact that it feels like that we want to make a game for more people than what was our intended audience in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
It's that sort of, as Miyazaki said, a game made for everyone is a game made for no one. Now, when you actually take the spirit of what Miyazaki is saying there, the idea is that when you're making your game, you know exactly who this game is for, right? If you're making Hogwarts Legacy, you're obviously not making Hogwarts Legacy because you're trying to capture the Dark Souls fans among the audience, right? That's not the point of that game. That's not why that game exists. It's a much more casual, story-focused experience than what the Dark Souls or the Elden Ring is. In the same way that when you're making Elden Ring, you're not trying to capture the My Little Pony audience, right? They're playing for different reasons.
We have bronies in the Souls community. We absolutely do. I've seen them.
Yeah, but they don't play My Little
They should
Pony.
be on a list somewhere.
My biggest thing is just, if you're a company that's making a game, you obviously know exactly who that game is for, right? Like you have in your mind, because
no, I think a lot of companies actually don't. Well, that might be a part of the problem.
Yeah, but in a perfect world, right, you are making this game for an audience because you're making the game for yourself, right? You know what kind of gamer you are. That's what games is supposed to be. I'll take, for example, the Super Fantasy Kingdom that I'm playing. There's no difficulty slider. Like, none. You cannot go easy, medium, hard. It is what it is. And you just accept it.
Difficulty, yeah.
Yeah. It's the intended difficulty, and that's what you're playing. And from my perspective, yes, please. Give me the difficulty, because here's the problem every single game. I have never played a game where you have difficulty sliders in a game where it doesn't either break on hard or break on normal or break on easy. Because you can immediately tell just from playing it where they intended the game to feel relatively balanced and then where they just sort of slit things up. They was like, well, just make everything, give more hit points, give more hits, that's it, right? We're done. Yeah. And that's not a fun experience. I personally think we should do away with them. If you're going to make a casual game, make a casual game. If you're going to make a hardcore game, make a hardcore game. And if people are bitching and moaning because, oh, the game isn't accessible, go play something else.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you don't have to play this game.
I was on hard, and I did 20 attempts on the boss. If I had no other choice, I would have kept doing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna beat it eventually. If it's beatable. Oh damn! I even spit on my screen just now. If it's beatable, I'm spitting facts right now. If it's beatable, I will eventually beat it. It's just that simple. It's just like, whatever. I just need a skill issue, whatever. And it might be skill issue on some of these things where a boss suddenly felt super hard or whatever. Might be that like, oh, I don't know this specific combo that would be really powerful in this boss or whatever. Yeah. So I'm not even saying that I'm 100% correct. I am saying that for my own personal taste in games, and I feel like a majority of the times it is more enjoyable if there's less. And it's like, if you want it to be more accessible, then do one difficulty that's like, this is the intended way to play the game, because that is going to allow developers to really hone in on that one difficulty and be like, no, we're going to make this the best experience it can possibly be. And then there's the easy mode for people that, don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I like I said, I agree with you there. I think there's a lot of things that's just gotten almost crazy in the modern era. There's just so much that makes no sense. So much that the gaming industry has just moved away from so much that should be normal. I know we have a list of topics here, but I don't care. We can talk about the topics as we get to them. But there's just one that I wanted to throw in here because it is related to this topic. And it's the Ubisoft thing. I don't know if you saw what happened with the Ubisoft letter. Well, it's a video, but okay. So you remember the Shadow Creed stuff, right? Or the Assassin's Creed Shadow stuff, right? And the backlash. Now, all of the articles, of course, continuously just say right-wing grifters made massive noise because apparently we're now pretending like Assassin's Creed Shadows was a huge success. That's apparently the new even Ubisoft is pretending like it's a massive success, and it made all the money in the world.
Massive success. It might have sold a couple of million copies. Do they know how much? Do we know how much it sold?
I think 2-point-something million. Which that's the last time I checked. It might be more now. I genuinely don't know. The problem is they don't do copies sold. They do players, right? They do players.
Oh, they say surpassed 5 million players. According to AI, it says sales are estimated to be around 4.3 million copies across all platforms, with a significant portion on PlayStation 5, about 56%.
That's just, I think we all know that is
Gemini.
This
is Gemini. I don't know.
But I think we all know that it absolutely did not sell 4.3 million copies, because you would see that bearing itself out in the Steam charts and all the rest of it, which it doesn't.
I think that most people that wanted to play it likely bought one of the Ubisoft whatever
subscriptions
things,
and just
right? And then they just play it. And they basically they gave it the whore down the street treatment. They used her for cheap and.
Yeah, just signed up for 1 month and be done.
And then they abandoned her.
Yeah. Well,
they're like, yeah, this one's for the streets.
Yeah, but now here's where it gets so funny, and this is why I said we need gaming to go back to gamers making games for gamers like themselves. Right? That should be the whole point of it. The gamers making games for gamers like themselves, because that's how all the big games started. That's how Warcraft started. That's how World of Warcraft started. That's how I can guarantee you that's how Dark Souls started. Miyazaki and those guys, that's the game that they wanted to play. They were like, man, if I could have a game like this, I would be happy. And then they were
it's kind of like Blizzard with EverQuest, where they were like, Man, EverQuest 2 is great, but there's all these problems. Let's solve those problems and make a better EverQuest 2, and then there's World of Warcraft.
I love playing EverQuest. It
was really good back in 2004, man.
Yeah,
so
baby.
Good.
Right? And that's and in this Ubisoft thing, in this video, Yves Guillemot, or however the hell you want to pronounce his name.
Guillemot. Say it, Guillemot.
Yves Guillemot. Okay, so Yves Guillemot. I
won't say it.
Yves Guillemot. He basically says that what happened during the outrage around Yasuke was that Ubisoft proved that they are a game, not a message. It was about the game. They weren't making any political messages, none of that shit. It was just a game. But the problem is that the guy who was in charge of Assassin's Creed just a few months earlier came out and said that Yasuke was absolutely a political message, and he stands by that message. That's what the world needs. So it's like,
is that the guy who was fired?
Yeah. So Yves Guillemot is now going, yeah, we're not a political company. We just make video games. And that proves it, right? Players saw that we just make video games. And I'm like, dude, what players where? Outside of the mainstream media, I have not met a single person that thinks Assassin's Creed Shadows was a good game. Everyone says it was at best mediocre. Even I could only say that it's a game. Like, that's about as much as I can say about it, because most of the game is boring as hell. It's just the copy-paste formula of Ubisoft, right? There's nothing new, nothing remarkable.
That's the thing that I've always said. The most recent Assassin's Creed games do absolutely nothing of innovative at all. So I'm just like, I never even got invested in Shadows. I made my video talking about how Shadows is going to be $130. Y'all are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that was it. I don't care about nothing else. I'm done. I'm good. Y'all keep your game.
Yeah. And
keep your friggin' slop.
I just found it laughable seeing Yves Guillemot trying to repaint this as if we didn't try to make a political message, even though you and I have had this debate on this podcast. I've had a literal leftist. I don't want to
relitigate this.
I mean, I've had a literal leftist for an hour, almost 2 hours, debate me on this, where I explained how there is no world in which you have a black samurai in feudal Japan and that isn't political. Like, there's no world in which that decision isn't political, because anyone who had no political motivations would have just gone feudal Japan, samurai, Japanese person, let's do this. That would have literally been the thought process.
But there's like a bunch of media, like, I forget which one's that other black samurai. I don't think it's Yasuke. There's another one, like, from animes and shit. I forget his name.
No idea.
But yeah, there's more, and there's video games of this other black samurais in Japan, which I don't think are inherently political. It's just not realistic. They don't care.
Here's the thing, right? If you're gonna make Yasuke the big character, right? Because he's in many ways he was sold as one of the main characters. When you actually play the game, you realize Yasuke he really is just a token character. He's not the main character. The Japanese chick is the main character of the story.
I've heard that stuff, that the story revolves more around the Japanese character. I don't know. I haven't played the game. But the point is,
it's her story, by the way. It's not Yasuke's story.
It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to have Yasuke. The thing was them saying that, like, oh, this is, historically accurate and all of that other conversation around. It's like, I don't understand why you needed to have that part of the conversation, which is like,
but
you don't need that. You just say, hey, we have Yasuke. Boom, done.
Yeah, but
game over. That's it.
That's the exact point, right?
We don't care.
That's the exact point. We had this conversation before. If you come out and just said, hey guys, this is an interesting way, we think, to present feudal Japan through the eyes of a foreigner, most people would be like, oh, okay. But the way in which they implemented him, that was political. 100%.
I'm not even arguing whether or not it is historically accurate or not. I don't care. I'm just saying that like the easiest way out of that whole thing would be like, it's not historically accurate. We don't care. Whatever.
No, the bite
they have a
isn't
disclaimer.
whether is
you know
or
that
isn't.
they have. No, but listen,
Yeah?
they have a disclaimer ahead of every single Assassin's Creed game where they say
this isn't historically accurate. Except, of course,
So
the
it's like,
Yasuke, which is 100% historically
why
accurate
they
until
even
it
need
isn't.
to argue that? But anyway, I don't even want to talk about that. It's like
No,
it's
no,
such
no.
a over debated thing by now.
No,
So
yeah, but I didn't bring it up because I'm saying Yves Guillemot trying to pretend this
Trying
wasn't
to,
political,
like, flip the
even
script.
though
Yeah.
his own owner of Ubisoft, like of Assassin's Creed, the guy who was in charge of Assassin's Creed, pretty much like literally said that it was exactly that, and then he goes, "No, it wasn't." Even and everything they did showed that it was a political decision. It's just so disgusting that I cannot change my mind on
It's
Ubisoft going the way of the dodo bird. I want this company to die because I think it's taking up real estate that could be spent. There's talent inside Ubisoft that would do so much better making the next Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
They left and made Expedition 33. I was about to say that.
Yeah, but there's other people, I'm sure, inside that studio that can
And
do
there's
that,
more. We need to bleed them more.
Yeah, like leave and go start your own crap.
Listen,
give us another Clair Obscure. You know?
One of the things that I will say, I don't think that this is any more disgusting than what some of the other companies are doing. Like, for instance, Blizzard's going to be implementing another premium currency into World of Warcraft. In case you didn't know, I didn't even put that in the topic. They're doing another one because you know how they did housing. Yeah, somebody went digging in the files as they usually do, and there's a Hearth Steel special currency.
Of course,
but of course the usual World of Warcraft defenders instantly came out. It's like Traders Tenders. It's like Traders Tenders. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's fine.
Yep, of course. I mean, look, dude, at this
and they
point,
were flailing around just like this as they were doing it too. They're like, it's fine.
I would like to point out at this point, the quicker World of Warcraft dies, the happier I would be. At this point,
it makes me sad.
Dude, I don't even care at this point about World of Warcraft. Like, I genuinely have to put this forward because every once in a while I'll still have someone DMing me and be like,
I still care.
Did you see what World of Warcraft is doing? And I'd be like, no, I haven't. I don't care. Like, I legitimately don't care.
I do care, but it's like, I feel like the better thing is to just be like, I don't even want to read it. Like, keep that thing away from me.
Yeah.
Keep it away from me. I want to look at it.
I'm at the place now with WoW where I would celebrate its death just because of the incredible knobheads that play it. They deserve the death of that game. Because at every turn, they could have saved it. There were ample amounts of time where they could have stood up against the company and actually fixed what was broken. And instead of doing that, they would bully people out of the community for even mentioning that, hey guys, maybe this is a little bit greedy. I don't know. Call me crazy, but a game with a subscription doesn't need 400 different premium currencies. I don't know. That might be a wild take, and I'm sorry if that is a wild take, but I don't know. $15 a month seems enough to me. Like, if you can't make ends meet with $15 a month, then what the hell are you doing?
Maybe your business model's fucked. I don't know, man.
Or maybe you're just a greedy asshole. I don't know. It's one of those two, right?
Something along those lines.
Yeah. I want WoW to fail just because I want Blizzard to fail, because I have no time for Blizzard as a studio. I feel about Blizzard the same way I feel about Ubisoft. I think it's taking up, it's a dead tree that is still using resources and destroying the ability of new plants to come through. And the quicker it can die, the quicker it can become compost for actual good studios to rise up and start making really good games. You know? So yeah, I wish them well.
So there's two natural segues, considering that we talked about both MMORPGs and Blizzard. So we can either from here go to Xbox
Oh.
Or we can go to Amazon Game Studios. So we're now going to do a play and adventure thing, Accolonn. There's a crossroad in front of you. One of them says Xbox. The other one says Amazon Game Studios. Ooh. Which road do you want to go down to?
I feel adventurous. Let's go Amazon. I mean, these are the guys that brought us New World. It can only be good. Give me Amazon.
Oh, yes.
Let's go.
So they basically went, we brought you into this world. We're going to take you the fuck out. That's what Amazon has to say about New World. It's like, I brought you into this world. I'm taking you out of it.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so this is no laughing matter because it fucking sucks. But basically, Amazon has reportedly made significant cuts across game studios in Irvine and San Diego.
Okay.
The cuts are part of a 14,000 layoffs across the broader Amazon company. 14,000 people lost their jobs. Now,
wait, how many people work for Amazon though?
I have no idea.
That has to be a lot, right?
A large part of these people were basically like their MMO initiatives. So whoever's working on Lost Ark, you're gone. Whoever's working on New World, you're gone. Whoever's working on that new Lord of the Rings MMO, you're gone.
Dude, wait. Stop. So 14,000 people were fired, right?
Yes.
All right. So as of September 30th, 2025, Amazon has approximately 1.5 million full-time and part-time employees worldwide. So there's still a lot of people that could be fired.
A little bit of a blip.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a blip in the radar.
Yeah.
No, but a large chunk of those 14,000 is basically their games division, Amazon Game Studios. So they took a massive hit. So the idea here is they're scaling down their development of video games, and they're going to be doing more casual games using AI. Because, that's the way of doing stuff. Of course, you make a couple of AI games, it is what it is. So here's what the impact was. Lord of the Rings MMO that was going to come out, that's canceled. They haven't really said anything about Lost Ark because Lost Ark is basically developed by the other people in Asia. I forget exactly who does that.
Is it NetEase? It's not NetEase.
I don't think it's NetEase. I think it's somebody else. But whoever it is that does Lost Ark, they do the development, so they really only need like localization and stuff. So I don't know if maybe that one's still going to be supported.
Amazon effectively is just making money off of that. Like they're not really spending a lot on that.
So New World announced that Season 10 will be the game's final content release. Not only it's not going to be receiving any more updates, they're also not even going to be rotating like the seasonal events. It's like, no, we're done. It's over. Pack it in, boys. It's done. So enjoy what you can. They did say the game will run through 2026. So unless they lied, at the very least 2026 you can still play the game.
Dude, what they should do is they should just turn it into a single player experience. Because there was some fun stuff there. Just make it a single player experience and be done with it.
There was. You could make it a survival game almost.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a survival game, but like, a game where you're playing with like 3-4 friends. Kind of like what Wayfinder did. If they were able to do that, that'd be great. But they don't care. They're just like, we don't give a fuck. Like, get fucked. We don't care.
The game never worked.
They did say,
the game was a massive failure.
No, the game worked. The game was fun.
No. I mean from a business perspective, the game never worked. Yeah,
because they want fucking, I don't know, 10 million players or 5 million players. It's like, no, it's no. With that game, no. It's going to be very, very hard.
The type of game you built
it has
was
a niche
just never
audience. Yeah. You needed to manage your budget significantly better than what you did. But the game was fun. I had a lot of fun when I played it.
I enjoyed it too.
I did a solid couple of streams on it, and I was interested in doing their new one because it's like on consoles as well now. It's got like cross-play or whatever, Return to Aeternum or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
That seemed like it was going to be fun. I was thinking about eventually checking it out, but not now. And they also said that they will announce 6 months in advance before they shut down the servers. So it's like they're going to keep servers operating through 2026, and then after that, boom. Also, apparently, there's been an update to this news that I wasn't aware of. New World has been removed from sale on Steam. You can't even buy it anymore.
I think that kind of makes sense, just so that they don't have to deal with those who did buy it and now they want a refund, and it's sort of like
so it's like only if you own it you can still play it. But the thing is, not a lot of people own it, because when they did the update, you had to buy the game again, is my understanding. You had to like rebuy it. So there's like two versions of New World, right? I don't even know if there's two versions or how they deal with the fact that, because like I have the older version of the game. How does that work?
Yeah,
right?
No way.
I don't know if there's like classic servers or what the deal is, but my understanding is that you had to rebuy the game if you wanted to keep playing it, which I almost considered for a while because I did enjoy the game. And then actually, they're saying that the structure, what happens to Lord of the Rings, it's still unclear, but it's like it's 99% sure that one's canceled. I'm pretty sure. I think there's even someone that leaked that information. They're like, yeah, that game's gonzo. It's done. So, yeah, and they're going to be instead focusing on smaller casual games that they're going to be working on with AI. But this is not the only bad news when it comes to MMORPGs. And since you chose the path of the MMORPGs, we're going to go right along, talk about a studio that you probably were excited about. Have you ever heard about a studio called Fantastic Pixel Castle?
Yes.
You probably didn't. You did? Okay.
Of course.
So you know who it is.
Isn't that Ghost Crawler's... Yeah, this Ghost Crawler's game. I was super excited for that game.
So obviously, NetEase being a very reliable partner, because obviously NetEase are good guys, because everybody... I still remember when people were giga excited about Marvel Rivals. And I was like, yeah, that's by the Skin Job company. I ain't touching that shit. But you guys, I hope it works out for you. I hope the game's very successful and everybody has a good time. But, you know, you can't trust the Skin Job company. And people might even be wondering, why does he keep calling them Skin Job company? Because they did a skin job with Diablo, and I will never forget that, because Diablo used to be one of my favorite franchises of all time. They did a disgusting fucking skin job with Diablo Immortal. That game is disgusting. I fucking hate it.
They basically gave Blizzard all of their ideas for Diablo 4.
I played that game through the completion before people criticized me. I played that game through the completion before I did a review of it. So I know that I fucking hate that game. I hate the monetization in that game. I hate the gameplay of that game, because there were people that were saying like, oh no, but like if you take the monetization away, there's a great game here. And it's like, yeah, if you're a fucking moron, there's not a great game there. I'm sorry, bro. Okay, you might like what you like, whatever, but it's like, I don't fucking like it. I'm sorry. I called you
are wrong if you like it.
That was maybe too much. I won't say if you are wrong, because like it's whatever. People like what they like. I have guilty pleasures too, whatever. But like I don't like Diablo more. I think it's a piece of trash.
Yeah, but
game.
guilty pleasures is like getting gelato on a Sunday afternoon, not liking a game that clearly is just a bad game. But anyway, I digress.
That's why I call NetEase the Skin Job company, and they're a disgusting partner to begin with. So what do? They threw Greg Street out on the street. That's what they did. They're like, okay, listen, it's been real, boys, but you guys need to go look for other funding. Ta-ta now, goodbye. And Greg Street said something in the lines of like, hey, so we need to go look for other funding, but hey, our team is also really good. Maybe they can work out on helping other studios with you guys, NetEase. And they were like, nah, just fuck off and die. We don't care. It's like it's over. Now, Greg Street naturally was very publicly correct, politically correct.
Yeah,
he was like, oh no, they were a great partner. They were fantastic. They helped us out and yada, 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 whatever. And this was the news that I had to share with you 2 weeks ago, was that, you know, Fantastic Pixel Castle is now looking for new funding. But he also was incentivizing his people like, hey, if you guys can get work elsewhere,
go for
like
it.
Just fucking leave. Just fucking go for it. Because like I don't. Greg was like, I don't see this working out very well for either of us. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, it's pretty hard right now to get funding, and it's particularly hard right now to get funding for MMOs. I think you're gonna find, and if China, there's something interesting about China's second largest gaming publisher suddenly getting out of games, because they don't really do that. But we saw them doing that with Ubisoft, where they've become a lot more difficult to work with because money is no longer just free.
It's not Tencent, it's NetEase, right? Because NetEase is divesting, so it's the same people we're talking about now.
Yeah, but Tencent is I think larger than NetEase. I think Tencent is the largest one.
Is Tencent also backing out? Because you said the
there's
second largest one.
Yeah, but NetEase is the second largest one in my opinion. Or I could be mistaken, but I think Tencent is larger than NetEase. So that's why I said
Tencent is a million times larger than NetEase.
It's interesting to see the second largest NetEase divesting as much as they are, because they're doing it in Ubisoft. They're doing
piecing the fuck out. Piecing the fuck out, basically.
Because I've been seeing a lot of economists that, and I'm talking about Chinese economists, that's been saying the Chinese economy is struggling, like seriously struggling. Their official numbers, obviously, everything looks great. The problem is that when you actually look at what's happening on the ground, the tariff war with Trump, China's consistent supply of ammunitions to Russia, as well as goods to Russia, and Russia no longer being in a position to actually pay for those goods, have put China in, well, a very bad spot. If that is true, it means that the companies in China, the free money that they were just sort of always accustomed to, because the Chinese government would supply lots and lots of funding, this might be an indication of that. The fact that we're seeing them sort of scale down, they're not as interested anymore in just throwing money around. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
I think that there's more to develop on that, but I want to keep focusing on the topic here of like Greg Street and his struggle, right? So before we go any further on the story, there's something that I almost forgot. He also mentioned that there is a downscoped version of the game that they were working on.
Okay.
Which is multiplayer sessions based, so it's not like always online server, whatever.
Yeah,
so I would imagine it's kind of like single player with optional co-op, something like that.
Yeah.
And he says that version of the game requires half the budget and is halfway complete. Halfway complete.
Wow.
That's where he was at. Yeah, exactly. And then November 4th, he said, we're going to close our doors on the 17th of November.
No.
So this news has been updated where it's like on the first week that we're going to talk about this, like, hey, NetEase kicked them out. Now they're struggling. But on last week, it wasn't last week. Last week, it was still the same thing. But then this week, it's now, no, it's like they're going to close their doors on November 17th because they weren't able to secure funding because nobody's taking a chance on MMO right now.
Yeah.
Nobody is taking a chance. And like, MMOs in general in the West, you're kind of fucked right now. And one of the bigger issues that we have in gaming, which is, as you were pointing out, like the Chinese are divesting. A lot of companies are divesting from gaming. And the problem is we've kind of been spoiled for choice in terms of games. Like there's been a lot of great games coming out, like really, really good. So it's like, in a way, for gamers, the industry has actually been really good. Even if we talk about how like there's a lot of games that for a lot of people, you guys consider that it's woke or whatever, you know, there's a lot of that, but there's also a lot of other good games that anybody can enjoy regardless of that. And so the problem becomes when you have so much choice, what stands out? Only the best of the best stands out. So just being a good game is no longer good enough. You need to be an excellent game.
Yeah.
And what is happening is a lot of these companies, whenever, you know, how we talked about that when you're trying to make a game for everyone, you end up making a game for no one.
Yeah.
A lot of these companies are trying to do that. They're trying to make a game because it's like, oh, we have invested, I don't know, friggin' $100 million into this game.
Oh.
This game needs to be playable by the entirety of the gaming community. Yes. But when you do that, you end up with your 6 out of 10s and your 7 out of 10s type of games. And those are quite simply not enough to succeed in the market anymore. You need a game that is significantly above the other ones to really stand out so that people go and buy it. But what happens is, because of the decisions that you've made, your game has lost a lot of its appeal to its core audience. Yeah. And therefore, a lot of these companies need to adjust their budget, but they're not. A lot of these companies are not. They're like, no, our budget is fucking yes. That's the budget. The budget is yes.
Yeah, they're doubling and tripling down and just continuously throwing money at the problem.
And the game needs to be playable by literally everyone. And it's like, yeah, but it loses a lot of its appeal. That is the problem. Yeah. Because the more you make it playable by literally everyone, a lot of the appeal goes away because there's not even that much of a sense of community as well. So that is like a problem that you have in the industry right now. And it's going to keep happening until companies start budgeting appropriately, which is why the AA scene is flourishing, because these companies can afford to be like, no, we don't want to make a game for everyone. We want to make a game for these people.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully these people will enjoy it and will budget it accordingly, and hopefully will sell like enough copies for us, and that's that. And a lot of those games end up doing really well, like Expedition, like Silk Song, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's the situation we're at right now when it comes to that.
The thing is, the era of the live service MMO game, right? And I'm putting these two together because in many ways they follow the exact same sort of business model, MMOs and live service games, because MMOs are just really live service games, but bigger. The era where those games really worked was before games got as democratized as what they are today. You know, back when you had basically only the big companies releasing games, and they would maybe do 1 or 2 games a year. And most of your indie titles were, let's be real, kind of bad. You know, like you maybe get some 8-bit game that maybe is good, but for the most part, it's just sort of not really that good.
I mean, it depends. It depends on the year that you're talking about.
I'm talking about
like, sort of like the release of World of Warcraft. Then there weren't that many.
I'm talking around because in many ways, World of Warcraft was the last really successful MMO, and I put Final Fantasy 14 around about the same time because it was still the same era, sort of, where both of them came out, right? But you can already see now how both of those games are starting to eat each other's lunches, right? They're fighting over the same audience.
Final Fantasy 14 came out 6 years after World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And that was the failed version of Final Fantasy 14, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had to shut it down. And then proper Final Fantasy 14 was 9 years after World of Warcraft.
But you think about the AA indie era, it's only been really, I would say, maybe last decade.
Last 5 years.
Yeah, not even the last decade, last 5 years, really. Yeah, 2015, 2016, 2017, we were all pretty much still playing the big games from like the big studios. Maybe once in a blue moon, there might be an indie game that comes through. But nowadays...
I mean, Dark Souls, I would argue, was a AA game.
Yeah, but it was published by big boys, right? Like, it's big boys publishing.
By Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
I mean, so Bandai Namco wasn't as huge back in 2011.
No, but it was in terms of, like, it was one of the bigger ones, right? It wasn't the small indie studio.
Because they've always had, like, a lot of anime stuff.
So. Yeah. But just look at how quick they broke into the AAA space, right? Because they made something that's really good. But I would say now, when you think about the majority of games on your Steam library, it's almost all indie and AA stuff. Like, if I compare my indie AA library to my AAA library, I probably have like 3 times the amount of indie and AA than what I have AAA. Just because there's more indie games coming out every single year that I want to play than what there are AAA games that I want to play.
Because like when you said that, I'm just because like look, so my library is really big because I receive review codes and all of that.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
I don't even play all of them, so it's not fair.
Same.
I was curious. I was curious, but what if I just go with what I have installed right now? And I was thinking to myself, well, it's mostly going to be AAA, but the reality is no. A lot of them are AA. And I mean a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are indie as well. Like probably AA and indie like wins out over a majority of the list.
If I just go by installed. If I just go by installed, right? Baldur's Gate 3, that's AAA. Well, not even really, because I don't feel comfortable calling Larian
It's indie.
AAA.
What do you mean?
Indie is all it's AA. I mean, Larian Studios is still a very large and very well-known studio, but it's not AAA. You're right. But okay, so Baldur's Gate 3. Balright, that's absolutely indie. Big Ambitions, I think that's made by one guy. Blacksmith Master, another indie game. Breachway, that's Hooded Horse. Then Death Stranding, that is big, right? Dyson Sphere Program, indie. Elden Ring, AAA. Factorio indie, Farthest Frontier indie, Foundation indie, Frostpunk indie.
I'm not gonna read out all of mine, but yeah, it's mostly just all, like indie, AA with a couple of AAA sprinkled in. Yeah,
I have literally installed right now, I think 3 AAA games. The rest are all indie. And that's just installed. That's not even my whole library. So the fact is, in this new era where you have this incredible amount of democratization of games, there's so many AA and indie games out there. Live service games just no longer make sense. Why would I lock myself into a game for a year when I could be playing hundreds of games in that time? Right? Like it no longer makes sense. Back in the day, it made sense. There were so few games coming out already that having this filler game that you could play in between the launches of the next games was actually a good thing. But now I don't need a filler game. I have a whole library filled with games waiting to fill some time slot at some time.
So,
right?
The thing is, I think there's still room for live service games. I think that the big problem is that everybody wants to be greed maxing when they're doing their live service games. And that is just like, I think that people are kind of done with that shit. Like there were whales that made those mistakes of just like, succumbing to the greed maxing and the FOMO and all of that bullshit. Yeah. But I think that people have not only they've wised up, but also economic situations have changed because a lot of these live service games came out in the time that we would in Portugal refer to as the fat cows time. The time where everything is so good that even the cows are fat. Like now we're not even in cows time, bro. People are eating rats out in the streets. Okay. Yeah. That's the time we're in right now. So people don't have as much disposable income. So you either really giga target the giga whales and hope you get lucky, or you're kind of screwed when it comes to a live service game. But there is room. There is room for a good live service game.
I fully agree.
But you can't greed max. If you greed max, you're fucked.
So I fully agree with you that there is space for live service. My point wasn't that there can be no live service. My point was more there needs to be a massive rethinking of what is live service. How are we doing it in an era where people no longer need this in order to hold them over between games? They have the games to hold them over. The problem isn't free time. The problem is you have to convince me that I'm going to give up some of my games in order to play your game for, say, the next 60 or 100 hours. If you can't convince me of that, I'm also not interested in committing to your game because I know your game is only going to get fun after about 20 hours, right? When I finally get into what the live service is.
I'm going to pull a random number out of my ass that's going to be very morbid. Okay? And the random number I'm pulling out of my ass says 90% of Steam users will die without having played all of the Steam games in their library.
I would go higher and say that's probably 95 to 99%, dude. The amount of games that I have in my library that I don't even want to play, but I bought because it wasn't special and I thought maybe one day I'll play that.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. You don't know. This is a special.
Those maybe one day games, everybody has those. Like, oh yeah, maybe one day, It was so cheap anyway. It was like $5.
$5.
Maybe one day I'll play this. Who knows? I'm wasting money not buying it. That's usually more of a female argument, because like they'll see a sale and they'll be like, look, we're wasting money not buying this right now. It's like, no. Okay? If it says 50% off, that doesn't mean you saved 50%. You still spent the other 50.
True, but I think it's going to be interesting to see what the new way of thinking is. The fact that even NetEase is getting out of the live service space, right, and saying
they're divesting from the West. They're still doing live service stuff in the East.
Yeah, but that's because live service stuff in the East is cultural, right? At least for now. The fact that they're doing it in the West suggests that any company that wants to do it in the West, and the fact that, by the way, Ghostcrawler came out and said, well, yeah, we're closing down, means they could find literally no other company that was willing to invest in this. Not a single other company was willing to go, yeah, let's do this. We can
I've
try.
seen this same story play out with Wayfinder. They did the same thing. They were trying, except they didn't close down. They fixed their game to play single player, and now they're moved on to other projects.
I feel sorry for Ghost
I still
Crawler.
had a ton of fun. Yeah.
I feel sorry for him, but at the same time, you should have stuck with Riot. Well, then again, they're
no, but I think they kicked him out. I think Riot were the ones that canceled the project. I don't think that he canceled out on them. I think they canceled out on him.
From what I understand, he left voluntarily from Riot, and then after that, Riot sort of went, "Well, we have to reset. He left. Whole thing. This isn't going to work."
No, he left voluntarily because they were changing the scope of his MMO.
Yeah,
I know that something happened, and it's like he could have kept working there. But like he wasn't going to be doing the same thing he was doing, and he was like, "No, fuck that! I want to go make an MMO." And then he left. He made his own thing. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah, I think he was trying to do stuff that I just nowadays. At the time, I was praising him for it. Nowadays, I'm just like, man, you stop doing this bullshit. Because he wanted to do this whole democracy game design thing where the community would be part of the design. And nowadays, I'm more like, just make your game. I'll buy it if it's good. Just make the bloody game. I don't care about this whole include everyone into it. Clear Obscure didn't include anyone into it. It just brought out the game and I played it and it was super fun. And now they had an update, so I'm gonna have to go play it again.
I've held that opinion for a while. Wherein like even if I like, for instance, I'll look at a game and I'll be like, oh, I think that this would be better if it was like this. Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that you should follow what I'm saying. It's like I have a lot of ideas for Monster Hunter. I think the game would absolutely make less money if they were to implement some of my ideas. Yeah, but I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care about the money. I want the game to play the way that I want it to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think the point. My problem with people doing the let's design by democracy, it tells me that you don't know what it is you want to make.
No, maybe they do, but at the same time, they just want to please their audience. And
but
you're never going to be able to please everyone.
Yeah, but that's
just the way that it goes.
You see, but that's my problem. If you have a vision of exactly what it is you want to make, because I guarantee you now, if the guys from Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Sandfall Studios, if they asked the community, most people in the community would have told them, oh, don't do the whole turn-based nonsense. Just do action combat. And they would have gone, but they didn't ask the community because they were like, I want to play this. This is what I want to play. I don't give a crap how many people want to or don't want to. There were probably people in the industry that were telling them, bro, no, that era's over. People don't want, people want action combat. And they were like, man, I don't care what people want. This is what I want to play. And it was successful. Right, so when you make this whole thing of, oh, we're going to do democracy design, it's like, wait, so you don't have ideas of your own? Or you don't believe in your ideas enough to just do them and finish them and then trust that other players would want to play this as well? Because every game that I've ever played that had the democracy design philosophy went to crap. World of Warcraft has done this design by democracy thing for a long time because they keep doing betas and alpha testing where the players give the most bonkers feedback ever. Changes are made based on the stupidest feedback you can imagine, and the game gets worse as a result of it. It's just. But
listen, if you haven't been following the developments, they took down WeChorus.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on X. Someone posted about how what a double
deadly boss mods or whatever. Like they're taking all that shit away.
Yeah,
and that almost makes me want to go, man, you guys take that WoW token away and man, we're in business. Hey, I will, that sounds like a fun time.
I will sadly luckily, I will never be back to WoW. I genuinely don't miss it. I genuinely don't miss WoW. There's not been a single day that I've woken up and I thought to myself, man, I wish I could play WoW. Like, not a single day. I literally have everything in WoW uninstalled. I have the Battle.net app still installed, but I don't even know why, because nothing there is installed on my PC.
It's like a Klingon. It's just clinging on there.
Yeah, I think it's been, I've wanted to take my PC in for a good cleaning, and then I just want to reset it and sort of do everything from there. So I think I've just not removed it because of that. But I wanted to ask you, since we went the Amazon route,
Yes.
What was the
What's in
other
door
path?
number 2?
Yeah, what's door number 2? Like, where would that take me?
It also involves Activision Blizzard.
Of course.
And this is now tied into Microsoft. So there was one of those exposés. I don't know if it was exactly just by our good buddy Jason Schreier or how many people are involved, because this news broke out like a while ago.
Yeah.
But basically, there was a report from Bloomberg which indicates that Microsoft mandated a 30% profit margin from its Xbox division beginning in autumn of 2023. Now, it's important to mention that Xbox's usual profit margin over the last 6 years has been between 10% and 20%. So this is a massive increase.
Yeah.
And, Xbox hardware has not been necessarily high in demand, particularly because Xbox is also developing everything for PC, which is a good thing because everybody gets the games. But at the same time, they end up missing out on the hardware business.
Yeah.
Now, the problem here is that one of the same things that happened around that time of autumn 2023, I actually should see the dates, which we'll look here.
Also, it's similar enough.
When did Microsoft acquire, which I think was like October, Microsoft acquire Activision? And the dates are October 13th, 2023. So this is autumn 2023. So it was around the same time that Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. They demanded from their Xbox division that they would need to have a 30% profit margin. So you could argue, it's not confirmed, but you could argue that it is a direct consequence of the huge $70 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Another interesting little tidbit is that the reports, the financial reports from Activision Blizzard from like their, whenever they have those investor meetings or whatever, their year-over-year, I forget if they call it gross revenue or whatever. I'm terrible with like the actual terms, but basically the indication that I've read in other articles was that they were making 30% profit on Activision Blizzard. That's what they were doing. So it could have been Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer. They look at that and they're like, oh, so this is a well-oiled machine. We buy these guys and the 30% thing is done deal, because then we also have all of our other studios to provide us with additional value.
Yeah.
But then they went and put, and again, this is not something that's on all of the articles. This is stuff that I'm saying. Then they went and they put Call of Duty on Game Pass. And Call of Duty, as you can imagine, is the biggest contributor to those 32% year-over-year profits, obviously.
Yep.
And so if you put that on, it's a huge gamble. And they made that huge gamble, and it didn't work out because naturally, what did people do? Some people subscribed to Game Pass, but ultimately people that wanted to play it on PlayStation bought it on PlayStation. And while they still make a cut, I'm assuming it's not going to be quite as much as if they buy it on their own hardware, so on and so forth. And then you also have variables like, I don't know how successful the latest Call of Duty was. It probably was very successful. I don't really care. But ultimately, Game Pass took a huge chunk out of that percentage. And that's when Xbox started going on there. Okay, so we're closing this studio. We're closing because we can't make profit on sales. We need 30% profit margin. Somebody's going away. A lot of people are going away, obviously, because there were a ton of layoffs, as we all know, from Microsoft. I forget exactly how many people it was, but at one point, we even had the meme on the podcast, like, it's over 9,000! Because it was like over 9,000.
I think it was something like, it was something like, ultimately it was over 10,000, I think, that went away.
It's something
There's a crazy amount of people.
So if we can't do it in profit, we need to do it in cost cutting. And then when cost cutting wasn't enough, and then like, well, now we need to make our consoles more expensive. And when that wasn't enough, now we need to make our dev kits more expensive. Because you can't just operate on a 30% profit margin in the current economical climate, especially when Microsoft the Xbox studios keep putting out games that don't sell like loads, right? They put out Starfield, and even though Starfield sells millions, it's not the massive success that they expect. They put out Avowed. Avowed doesn't sell millions. They put out The Outer Worlds 2, which, again, The Outer Worlds 2 suffers from the same problem that we were just talking about, because I've seen some reviews for it, and people are saying, yeah, this is kind of like your 7 out of 10 game. It's like, it's good. Yeah. Like, that's it. It's not exceptional. They're not particularly innovating on a lot of things. It's like, you like The Outer Worlds 1, you're going to like The Outer Worlds 2. And now you need to be exceptional. You need to be really good, because there's just too much choice for people to settle for your 7 out of 10s. The people are like, no, I still haven't played this 9 out of 10. Fuck that. And not to mention, I can get it on discount on Steam.
But I would also say 7 out of 10 is perfectly fine if your budget is
if you budget accordingly
with a 7 out of 10 game. Right? And
they don't. That's the problem.
So there's a couple of things that I've realized over the course of I'll tell you a story now that sort of highlights exactly what's actually going on here. Yeah.
One more thing. They also increased the price to Game Pass, if you remember correctly.
Yeah.
That was another thing they did. So Game Pass also got a price increase.
But so here's the big problem that we have in modern entertainment. And I say entertainment because it includes everything. And the thing that reminded me of this was over the weekend, I watched K-pop Demon Hunters. I was with some friends and we watched K-pop Demon Hunters. It's not a movie that I would ever have thought to watch on my own. And when they said we're going to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, I kept thinking, really? Why? Like, this does not seem like my type of movie. And I ended up loving it, right? The music was pretty cool, but the story itself was amazing. And the reason for it is exactly what art is supposed to be. Art is meant to be a mirror, right? That's what good art is. It's a mirror that you hold up in front of the audience and you show them reality as it exists. That's what art is supposed to be. What art isn't is a vehicle for change. People like to think, oh, art is about change. Art has never been about change. Art does not affect change. The change you oftentimes see that people want to attribute to art is already happening. The art is simply showing it. It's simply providing a mirror for it. You go back to Shakespeare's plays. You go back to the ancient Greek tragedies, even the tragedies that was written in the Roman period times. They were all mirrors. They weren't meant to teach. They were meant to show you what was already there for everyone to see, and then show you the nakedness of it all, right? And that's what made K-pop Demon Hunters were good. The modern movies, modern video games, they've become this vehicle for progress, right? They want to be the change that they want to see in the world. And it's just constantly being rejected. People don't want to play games like that. People don't want to watch movies like that. So K-pop Demon Hunters was such a big eye-opener for me. Like, why am I loving this so much? And the truth is, the goals are actual goals. But in their femininity, they're also goal bosses, right? But they don't act like the box standard Hollywood goal boss. They're girls. The guys are guys. And they even have a guy that's...
You should play Bayonetta.
Sorry?
You should play Bayonetta.
Yeah, I know there's a bunch of games that I should be playing, but the point here is more, the celebration is their femininity, and a guy is actually ultimately one of the heroes of the movie, because he sacrifices himself for the female lead, which is very much what, like, that's the ultimate male fantasy, is slaying the dragon in order to save the princess. And if you sacrifice yourself in that, that's part of that fantasy, right? So it was just real. Okay, so that's the one part of it. That explains why these guys continuously put hundreds of millions of dollars towards their games, and the games continue to flop because it's trying to do something that it just can't do. That's not the right place for it. If you want to make political messages, go be an activist or become a politician, right? Gaming isn't going to be that for you. But then there's the second one. And this I got told at the photo shoot. So I was at this photo shoot and I spoke to the photographer. And she's very nice. She's very cool. And she starts telling me what to prepare for. with the industry if I finally get some roles, how it's going to be. And I'm like, okay, how has it changed? Because I was in an ad years ago for Vodacom, which is like Vodapay. You guys have it there as well. I'm sure Vodafone. It just Vodacom here in South Africa. I was in an ad for the World Cup back in the day. And so she's like, okay, so here's what you need to remember. Nothing ever happens. I'm like, what do you mean? She says, okay, so you arrive at 8 o'clock on set. Tea break is at 9. From 9 to 10, they have tea. Everyone arrived at 8 o'clock. Most of the time, no one does anything between 8 and 9 because it's just an hour until tea. There's no point in doing anything right now. So we'll do everything after tea. Then from 10 to 1, you have whatever they're shooting. Then 1 to 2, they have lunch. And everything's provided. Like full slates, just tables and tables catered with all the food you can imagine. And then you get back to work from 2 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, it's break again for tea, right? And then from 4 o'clock until like 7 o'clock, they get some stuff done. And then sometimes they'll go later. So then they have supper as well and whatnot. I'm like, wait, what do you mean all of those breaks? He's like, well, that's just how it works. They are given a target. They're not even given a budget. The people in catering are told you have to spend at least this much on catering. So they're just throwing food at the actors and at everyone on set, coming up with all sorts of reasons why people have to break. Because no one has any real sense of where money comes from. You see, these developers, these artistic people don't know where money comes from. So the same thing happens in, I'm pretty sure, the gaming industry, where these guys are given targets of stuff that they have to do, and they end up just doing the silliest crap that no one really cares about. But hey, we have this target that we have to reach. We may as well just spend it and see what happens. And I think
it depends on the size of the teams, which is why AA is going to.
Yeah, AA has to flip over every single cent, right? AA has to go, wait, Can I afford this? I can't afford this, so we'll just cut it. Again, look at Clear Obscure Expedition 33. They cut corners by, like, for example, almost every fight happens in the same arena based on the location that you're fighting in, right? They didn't try to make the boss arenas specific to every single boss or specific to every single mob. The bosses have their own arenas, but the mobs tend to have like a general arena for that map.
A generic arena based on where you are, yeah.
Yeah. And that's cost cutting, right? They cost cutting. They could have done an arena for every single one, but that would have cost them a hell of a lot of money that they didn't want to spend. So optimization-wise, that just made more sense. But in AAA, it's sort of like just go nuts. Let's just optimize the living crap out of this game. Let's be Starfield. We want to make every single thing movable, except for the planets, which is just a 2D image that you can't actually go to because you have to go through the loading screen or to land on the planet. And it's like, you think maybe it would have been better if you made all of the other things less interactive and maybe made the planets? Like, wouldn't that have been a better use of your resources? So
that's Bethesda. Bethesda always do that. It's expected. And some people like that. They prefer, I want to be able to throw 100 wheels of cheese. And it's like, okay, that's really fun for about 30 seconds. And then why was all this time wasted on you being able to throw 100? Who cares? Who actually cares? No one. Nobody fucking cares.
No.
Some random guy that's making a video on YouTube about rolling wheels of cheese off of a cliff.
You know what? And a good segue, I love when we're doing a podcast this way, is now talking about GTA 6. Because when you just mentioned that, it reminded me of GTA 6, where they spent, and people actually celebrated this. When you look at the cinematic, you can see the bubbles in the beer.
And the condensation of the beer. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's like the horse's bollocks.
Some people love that. It's the same thing with like the RTX stuff. There's definitely like a group of individuals out there that is like, fuck yeah, take away 15 FPS and give me the good ray tracing. And it's like, no. For me, it's like, no, never. It's like,
I think
I will take the better FPS.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I have 10 more, please? I'll take those. You can keep RTX, okay? Give me baked-in lighting and all those other techniques you've been using all those years ago, and you can have the RTX. I don't need it. I'm happy.
My opinion is the only people who want that are people who is less interested in playing the game and more interested in letting other people know they're playing the game. They want to screenshots. They want to take screenshots and post it all over the world.
Look how much of a gamer I am.
Yeah, look at my
the
gaming
first 5
gamer.
minutes of this video game.
Do you know that, and I'm not saying this is special or that all gamers would be like me. This is just probably who I am. I have never played a game where I've gotten to a place and thought to myself, ooh, what a screenshot moment. Ever.
I do. Often. I often take screenshots to post.
I do not.
Yeah.
I play my game. I'm so into it. I don't even stop to think. And oftentimes afterwards, it will bite me in the ass because I'll be like, man, I want to show this guy. I didn't take it. I'm not going to do that again.
Yep.
It's fine. But in the moment, I couldn't care less about a screenshot. I just want to play the game and have fun. You know,
one of the games where that has definitely happened a lot to me was when I was playing Endwalker in 14. I was taking screenshots all the time, all of the time. And then I would comment on people, this motherfucker, this guy right here, I would kill him. I would kill him right now. I'd kill everybody in this goddamn room if I could. Like there's a sequence in Endwalker where I was like, I would genocide this entire people. I would genocide them right now. Wouldn't even hesitate.
I only took screenshots in Final Fantasy 14 when it was sort of part of my content thing. Right, I was posting a lot about Final Fantasy and content, or screenshots really helped. But then I got bored and I stopped doing it anyways because I hate taking pictures in general. When you look at my phone, I don't take pictures. I hate taking pictures, because even in real life, when I get to a place that I think is beautiful, the last thing I will think about is ooh, picture or selfie. No, I just go, oh, this is so beautiful. Just look at this place.
It's like
what you have I'd never think.
I had a moment.
Hey,
I had a moment that kind of like, I don't know if this would be what you call it, black-pilled me on photographs, but I did have a moment where I went to Norway with my parents on like a vacation, and we happened to catch really good weather. Now, Norway is potentially the most beautiful place I've ever been to.
Yeah, Norway is
like
I've seen pictures, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's insane. And so I was so focused on just taking pictures of everything. And I got to a point I was like, I'm so concerned about taking pictures of this trip that I'm never going to look back on these pictures. I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to enjoy it. Because like, it was literally, I was on a bus and you could point your camera anywhere. And it's like, this is a desktop. This is a desktop picture right here. Because you had like the fjords and the mountains and all. It was brutally drop dead gorgeous. Most beautiful place I've ever been to, Norway, straight up. And I just got to a point where I was like, I just need to stop. I'm not even like actually living in the moment and appreciating how beautiful everything is around me. I'm just concerned about, I need to take the best possible picture with my phone. It's like,
but have you seen, go look at Linkin Park concerts? Like Rock Am Ring.
Everybody's filming them.
Well, no, with Linkin Park, it was before the filming era, right? So when like the Rock Am Ring stuff, people are like hardcore, just freaking out, having fun with the band. I saw a video from, was it Taylor Swift? I think it was Taylor Swift, like a live concert of hers.
Everybody's filming.
Everyone's like this. No one's watching the stage. Dumb. The stage is there, but everyone's just like.
It was funny because I saw that recently as well. I think it was in New Year's Eve. It was some New Year's Eve celebration. I think it was in France. I'm not sure, but they were like, they were getting ready for fireworks, and everybody pulls out their phone, and it's like, let me tell everybody something, okay? Let me just. I don't know how many people need to listen to this, okay? But like, not a single person on this green earth wants to look at your garbage looking video of fireworks with garbage audio because the fireworks are going to be loud as fuck. They're going to overmodulate. The audio is going to be garbage. The video quality is going to be garbage because you're filming at night, and very few phones can actually film at night properly. And on top of it, you're not going to be able to capture the entirety. So it's like some fucking cropped image of the fireworks that nobody wants to see. And at the same time, you're not even experiencing the fireworks yourself. You're looking at your fucking phone to make sure that you get as much of this in frame. I was like, oh my God.
This annoys so me.
Bad. Because the thing was, on that specific crowd, I don't think there was a single person actually just watching the fireworks. Everybody was doing it with their phone. And like usually when I have fireworks near my house, I see the same thing. People just like everybody with their phones. Like I'll see my in-laws with their phones filming, like, and these are like really crummy phones, like really bad camera quality, and they're filming the fireworks. And I'm like, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm not going to say this because they're my in-laws, like, whatever. But I'm just thinking to myself, you're never going to look at what you're recording again, ever in your life. That's the point. As a matter of fact, it's like, you could almost make an argument that was like, that's the point of life. You're never going to live through this specific moment you're going through ever again. Taking 1 or 2 photographs to celebrate, I think that's fine. Yeah. Right? Because maybe you will look at photographs in the future and go, oh yeah, I did do that one thing. I think that's fine. And taking selfies, like I took a bunch of selfies when I was at Gamescom or whatever. But it's like, it's also important for people to remember to live in the moment. Like you can't just store every moment of what you're doing.
Let me put it to you this way.
It's a bad idea.
Let me put it to you this way. The whole point of a picture is to remember the moment that you were in. If the whole thing is you just recording,
is you taking pictures or recording,
there is no moment that you are in.
There's no moment.
Yeah. Like, what are you remembering? You taking pictures of the thing that you're trying to remember? What did you actually experience? Like, why weren't you in the moment there rather? And then you could remember it at least, right? It's like, no, just stop doing this nonsense. But anyway, so on to the GTA thing.
Back to... Wait, we're doing GTA. All right, we never did do we never finished the Microsoft thing.
Didn't we?
Okay, so let me just finish the Microsoft.
Finish the Microsoft thing, and then we can quickly talk about GTA.
It's just super quick. Microsoft. So after all of the wrong things that they've done with demanding 30% profit margins, purchasing acquisition, and then putting Call of Duty on Game Pass and whatever, and screwing over their own profit margins, shutting down a bunch of studios.
Yeah.
They've recently had one of those earnings report, whatever.
Yeah, based on
2% decrease in overall gaming revenue and 29% drop in hardware for its Q1 fiscal year 2026 earnings report. Gross margin increase of 11%, however, due to shifting higher margin business, whatever. But basically, they lost a fuckload of money is where we're at. And at some point, Satya Nadella said that like, well, yeah, but our competition now is actually short form video. That's who he sees as his competition. And in a way, it's not entirely wrong because it is entertainment. It's just like different forms of entertainment. I just don't think that it is a healthy way to look at your gaming business when you are pitching yourself up against short form video. Because like, okay, so you want to make a video game that's going to compete with the brain rot that is spreading on TikTok. That is not a video game that I want to play.
I would like to point out though that he is also a moron because while it is entertainment, sure, this would be akin to the creator of Doom saying, well, Tetris is also a competitor. It's like, insofar as it's a game, sure, but like, it's not the same game. Like, the people who's playing it isn't going to be the same. Like, what are you talking about? So I would just like to say, yes, it is entertainment, but I don't think that's why you're losing money is because of TikTok. You're losing money because your developers and your teams are more interested in playing activists than what they are in just making video games. Like, just stop with the activism stuff and just make video games, bro. Like, just get back to making some actual good games. That would probably be best. And what I find particularly funny about this is they increase profit margins or demand that profit margins be increased because more money, more good, and then they lose money as a result of that. It just keep them at 10% and they would actually have made money.
One of the things that he said during this call that he was on with some finance bros was he was going off about how the best way to succeed in the gaming space or whatever it was a sentence along these lines, is to have high profits. No, I think he didn't even say high profits. I think he said like higher margins or something along those lines. So he's like, the best way to succeed at this business is to make more money. I'm just like, there's not a single ounce of creative integrity in this whole fucking thing. It's like, the best way to succeed is to make more fucking money, is to demand more money from people. Yes.
But that's also,
how you succeed.
It's also, when you really think about it, one of the most empty statements you could ever read, right? Because I could literally say to you, Rurikhan, the best way to succeed on YouTube is to get more views.
There you go.
That's profound as shit.
Get more views. Get more watch time. Get more views. Get more likes.
It's like, well,
success.
Because it's like, the best way to succeed in every business is to make more money. Like, that's sort of the point of a job, is to make, Rurikhan, if you don't want to starve, make more money. Like that's the secret behind not starving, is making more money. But it doesn't actually mean anything. And it just speaks to his greed, right? The fact that it's just all about the money, not about the pursuit of making something truly worthwhile. And then that will just automatically translate into money. And we've seen that time and time again. We've seen when studios don't care about the money aspect of what they're making, they just care about making the thing that they care about. And how that almost always translates into success. Right? It always translates into players playing it. Because if you're making a game that you want to play...
That. Why are you lying, man? It doesn't work like that.
I mean, Clear Obscure Expedition 33 would like to have a word. But hey, I might be wrong. So, no, I know you're being you're memeing from their perspective. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so tired of the stupidity of the industry, dude. I'm so tired of because so you have GTA, same thing, right? I'm just quickly going to get the one thing out of the way for GTA. And that's GTA just fired a bunch of people, like 34 people, and they pretended like these people were fired for, I don't know, even whatever reason. But then it came out.
They called it, I on my article that I have in front of me, it says gross misconduct.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
And Rockstar Games says it was for distributing and discussing confidential information in a public forum.
Yeah, so the public forum, an actual Rockstar developer came out and spoke to Kotaku in action. He did provide proof that he is, in fact, working for Ubisoft, for Rockstar, excuse me.
Not Ubisoft.
Yeah, for Rockstar. He came out and said...
How dare you even conflate these two? Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. Greedy companies doing greedy things. What could I have thought?
That's like the biggest insult, because Rockstar at least makes somewhat quality games.
Yeah, but greedy, they're pretty much alike.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
My apologies. I was just thinking about the greed. I get confused with the bullshit. Fundamentally, this developer came out and said, well, actually, no, this was just Rockstar union busting. All 34 of these developers were part of a group of developers that are pushing to unionize the workforce of Rockstar. Now, I have my own opinions on unions. I don't believe in them. I believe that they should be squashed and destroyed because they're evil. But that's my own opinion on unions. Obviously, the world has a different opinion, and these developers wanted to unionize, in which case they should be allowed to do so. Rockstar felt a little bit more like me in that, no, the problem for Rockstar is that it's against the law in the UK to bust unions. Yep. The UK happens to feel the same as all the other lefties, which is unions good. This in spite of the fact of all the evidence that shows that it isn't. But never mind that. We're gonna go with that. So Rockstar lied and said that they had revealed company secrets effectively in a public forum.
Yeah.
The public forum in question is the union Discord, which is private, and only other Rockstar employees are allowed on that Discord. And they weren't actually leaking company documents. They were discussing the unionization of the employees of Rockstar. So this was literally just Rockstar going, union bad. Poof. Get out. And apparently there's going to be more because there's about 300 and something developers that want to unionize. So this 34 appears to be a first round.
It's the first shot across the bow.
Yeah, they want to see if the government's going to do anything. I mean, if the government doesn't do anything, they're going to be like, let's go.
They took a shot across the bow of the 300, but they also took out 34 people with that one shot. Pow! The independent workers of Great Britain say that the act was a blatant and ruthless act of union busting.
Mm.
But yeah, so the independent workers of Great Britain are basically supporting the same thing that the developers are saying. Besides that, there are more happenings around Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say it's usually very difficult to prove union busting because there's no way that Rockstar could effectively just claim that it had nothing to do with the union. The fact that they only fired 34 proves that the union isn't their problem. It is these guys that posted things that they weren't supposed to do according to their internal, and they could just refuse to show the internal documentation. Yeah, it's probably not going to go anywhere, but it is what it is. What else? Oh, Rurikhan.
So
did Rockstar get into?
This one wasn't directly Rockstar, but I wanted to argue this one with you because I think it's an interesting topic. So this is the designer of the first Saints Row game. The guy who designed the first Saints Row game said GTA 6 deserves to be $100. This is Mr. Chris Stockman. He says the game deserves. So here's what he had to say. They're the only ones that can get away with it. I don't think it's a rising tide that floats all boats. I think that there will be a tremendous amount of backlash if everyone switched to $100. Not all games are created equal. I think GTA is the only one that can get away with it, and I hope they do. I really hope it's $100. I think it deserves to be $100. The scope and magnitude of this production deserves that price tag, but not everything is treated equally. It would be a disaster if everyone tried to match them. And so, as this gentleman is walking away, still dripping with Rockstar semen from his mouth, how do we feel about the game deserving to be $100?
So originally, when you said that, my immediate response was, what the hell is this guy smoking? Like, come on, bro. But then the more when you finished everything he said, I kind of am inclined to agree with him. And I'll just clean up here. I am inclined to.
You should clean up your mouth, you fucking cocksucker. Just keep glazing Rockstar, you fucking pig.
So here's the thing. I agree with him that this isn't a rising tide lifts all boats scenario. And I think in that sense, if I look at his comment in context, what he's saying, and where I would change what he's saying, is if ever there was a game that could claim deserving the right to increase to $100, Rockstar Games would probably be the only studio that could claim that, right?
Sorry.
No worries. Rockstar Games would probably be the only gaming company that could claim that, right? You think about every single one of their games have always been phenomenal, right? It doesn't matter what game they release. When they release it, it's always really good. And they do put a lot of effort into their games. Do I think that it's deserving of $100? Probably not. But I can see why someone would make that argument, because from that perspective, it is the only studio that could probably get away with it.
Here's my counterpoint.
Yeah.
I will actually argue they would make more money if they sold it for $50.
I do agree with you. Just because they deserve it does not mean I agree with that they should. Just to be clear.
And the other thing is, I don't think they deserve it because of their gross monetization of GTA Online, which they're absolutely going to do. And as far as I'm aware, you need to buy GTA 5 to play GTA Online, at least last time I checked. So I'm assuming that with GTA 6 is going to be the same. So you'll need to buy GTA 6 to be able to play GTA Online. And the gross monetization that they do with their shark cards and all of the other bullshit that they have on there, I'm sorry, you don't deserve $100. You barely deserve 50 with the aggressive monetization that you do for GTA Online. So no, I absolutely do not agree. Not to mention that it's like, to be honest, I think that what they should do is they should sell it for fucking 200. Let's do the accelerationist thing. Let's go all the way. Let's see what happens if you sell it for 200. Fuck it, make it 3. I think you should absolutely make it as expensive as you possibly can. But the thing is, I don't have a horse in the race because I don't give a fuck about GTA. I don't care. I played GTA 5 on PlayStation 3. I thought that the single player was pretty fun. But it's like, I'm going to buy this when it's like $20. And then
we should just mention for everyone that didn't know, it's also been delayed. Just FYI.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that one afterwards.
But so my thinking on it is, I do love GTA, but I'm like you. I'm going to buy it when it's on special. I do agree that it would make a lot more money selling for $60 or even $50 than it would for $100. But I also can see the point that of all studios, and I would argue that would be my response to all of these other studios that are waiting with bated breath to see if they can get away with it, because you just know both Activision and EA are going $100 Call of Duty, $100 Battlefield. Could we get away with it?
So,
and I think in this regard, his point does make sense. No other game could charge $100 and get away with it. Because you mentioned the monetization of the online. The problem is that the people who play the online don't care. They love GTA Online, right? And to be fair, I know a ton of people who play GTA Online who have never spent a cent, because there is a lot that you can do just for free part of the game, right?
The whales need their minnows.
Yeah. The whales can really whale in the online version
because it's 1,000,000% pay to win. It's just that there's not even it's just 1,000,000% pay to win.
Yeah.
But like I have another argument that I have to put forward, and this one is another one that really bothers me, and that is the fact that there's a lot of people right now arguing whether or not this game is worth $100. Game's not even out yet,
but it's not.
We haven't even seen like proper gameplay. We know nothing of this game, and there's somebody literally coming out and saying this deserves to be $100. Motherfucker, you don't know if the game deserves to be $20. You haven't played it. You don't know. That people are judging it based on trailers and based on the ridiculous, the completely irresponsible, I might add, the completely irresponsible budget that they put on these games.
I would like to point out, even if this game came out and it was literal perfection, it would still not be worth $100. It's a video game. It's a video game. I mean,
I'm gonna be real. I just for the memes.
Yeah.
I almost wish it fucking bombed.
I would
for the memes, dude. I just want to see the world burn.
That I did.
Imagine if GTA 6 bombs, dude. That'd be hilarious.
You know what I want to see from it? I want to see it be so woke that even its most hardcore fans are like, hell no, this is insane, dude. Like, come on, man. Because the problem is, of all games, if that game goes woke, it's going to be so noticeable. Because, I mean, the whole point of GTA has always been it's like an equal opportunities offender. It offends everyone equally. Whereas,
oh my god,
if it now suddenly turns out that actually only white people get offended, no one else, people are gonna notice that, right? And I want that to happen. I want the game to fail. I want the gameplay loop to be bad. I want the game to fail in every regard, just because I want people to understand how stupid it is. No, I love GTA.
I'm not even that much.
The thing is, I love GTA. What I hate is this idea that people have where, Because when I say GTA deserves it, you'll notice I said Rockstar deserves it, right? Because as a studio, I can understand the mindset. Rockstar has proven themselves as a studio to be a really good studio. But even then, right, I don't believe that you can make an argument. Is the game worth $100? How the hell are you making that argument without playing it? Right? And the fact that there are already people saying, I'll buy it, no matter what. It can be $1,000. I'll buy it. It's like, wait, but you haven't even seen it.
I made a video on this, and the amount of people that went on there to like just call me poor and just be like, it absolutely deserves it. It deserves even more. And it's like, sure, buddy. You haven't even fucking played the game. You're saying it deserves to be more than $100. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I had the same. I think we even had comments here when we first discussed it.
I think they're investor bros. They're investor bros, dude. They're like they have stock in Rockstar.
It's just like, man, it's so annoying. But hey, let's talk about this delay. What's
finally happening? It got delayed. Grand Theft Auto has been delayed for the second time. This literally happened before the podcast, like shortly before the podcast. It was officially announced. Because obviously this is like a Friday type of news, although usually they save it for like end of day Friday because it's like bad news,
usually.
I guess.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm like, might as well delay it if you think it's not good enough, especially for the amount of hype that this game has. If this doesn't fire off on all cylinders, they're so fucked. So yeah, it's been delayed second time. It's going to be delayed for the 19th of November, 2026. So it's just basically going to take over holiday season. All of the other games are now going like, well, I guess holiday season is closed for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, buddy. I would just like to say it's always a little problematic when you have a delay that then rolls into another delay because almost always, I won't say always because there has been exceptions to this, but almost always, that signifies a structural problem rather than just a polish problem. It means that your initial delay was for something structurally that you thought you'd be able to fix. But as time has gone on, you've realized that this is a much larger problem than we initially thought. Now you need even more time in order to try and fix it. That's almost never good. Almost. Sometimes it is just like, there's a lot more that we have to polish. But I'm always sketched when it comes to double delays.
That's what Bro is arguing. CEO Strauss-Zelnick remarked that the delay would help provide additional time to finish the game with a high level of polish. This delay also comes amid the contentious firing, which we talked about already, of dozens of workers at Rockstar Games. I find it interesting, the wording of dozens of workers. It's, I guess, 2 dozens and... couple more people. I'm not sure.
Technically, dozens is probably okay. Although,
technically, but
it makes it sound much worse than what it is, even though it's already quite bad, right? It's like,
it's the same thing we're talking about. It's the guys who were fired and supposedly it's union busting, but
it's like someone saying it's over 100 people died in the car crash, and it was like 101 people. It's like, dude, come on. Like, over 100 people, 101. Yes, technically it is over 100, but you're obviously trying to make it sound a lot worse than what it actually is. But anyway, so,
true.
It is what it is. This is where we are right now. I'm trying to look through the list here.
We're missing the big drama topic that we never got to because we usually do drama at the start. But I think that's the last thing.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. No. We have the OpenAI thing, and I do want to talk about that just for a second.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you wanted to talk about that one.
Yeah, no. It's yours. It's your list, but I do want to talk about that actually because there's something crazy that's about to happen. So I watched a couple of videos about AI, right? Because dude, it is a nightmare. The AI bubble, when that bursts, it's gonna take the world with it, right? Because it's gonna be huge.
100%.
And I was watching this video where it explains how the funding currently works. It's called Ouroboros funding. That's literally what they call it now, right? Because, and guys, just listen to this. OpenAI has shares in NVIDIA. NVIDIA supplies the chips for the data centers that OpenAI builds to run OpenAI. NVIDIA has shares in OpenAI, right? But OpenAI uses that money to buy chips in order to build their data centers. Then OpenAI and NVIDIA have shares in a third company that actually builds the data centers using NVIDIA and OpenAI to build the data centers. And this company owns shares in these. So it's like this snake of everyone just owning shares in each other.
It's a human centipede is what that is to me. I'm looking at that's a human centipede. It's beautiful.
And every single time in history that has happened, it led to a phenomenal crash. Like astronomical crash. Because you have that happening on the OpenAI side, but then NVIDIA is also involved with like Gemini, and they're involved with Google, and they're involved with this, that, or the other. Like, all of these companies are sort of, in one way or another, all investing into each other. And it's ultimately just one big Ouroboros.
Oh, my God.
And it keeps, remember, because you have to remember how this works now. OpenAI owns shares in NVIDIA. Then OpenAI announces that they're building a new data center with ding, 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 NVIDIA chips in it. NVIDIA share price goes brrr. OpenAI goes woo. And because NVIDIA owns shares in OpenAI announcing that they have a new data center coming, their shares now go brrr. So everyone's just brrring up, but it's the same money just moving from one side to the next. So this is a bubble of epic proportions. And I listened to the guy from The Big Short. Remember I told you I was watching his podcast. He has this podcast, and he was actually explaining what happened in 1999 with the dot-com bubble. And he was like, everyone was saying that the net is going to revolutionize the world. And it did. The internet did revolutionize the world. The problem is that it didn't do it fast enough. The internet wouldn't start changing the world until 5 years after the crash. Like, if the guys just kept their money in, there would have been no crash. But because the investors started to get a little angsty, like, wait, where's the returns on this? Where's the money? Right? They start panicking and then they start selling, and that is what causes the crash. And he's like, at the moment, OpenAI, for example, is worth something like 400 billion. I don't know how much. It's like 400 billion. But the money that they have is about 80 billion that they've gotten from people who just gave them the money, and they're burning that money building data centers. That's they don't make any money. Like, OpenAI makes no money. The money that they're worth on the stock market is literally just people betting that they might be that much at some point, right? They might make that much money at some point. They haven't made any money yet. They're just spending money.
It's one of the biggest casinos. It's so nice.
Yeah. And at some point, the investors are going to be like, so where's the money? And this is where my brother actually
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Yeah, but this is where my brother came in. And my brother, because he studies this, he's doing his master's dissertation on this. Well, on AI, but he's now reading a lot about the AI and the chaos systems around it. And he actually said to me, what's going to happen and what scares him most right now, OpenAI, Grok, Gemini, they're all promising investors AGI, right? Artificial General Intelligence. But the more we're researching AGI, the more we're starting to realize it's not possible. We can't build AGI because...
I hope it's not possible, because if we do, we are so fucking cooked. No. If we get to AGI, that's when it gains sentience.
Yeah. The problem is, if you read every single one of their... the basic function, because here's the thing. They thought for a while that humans just think in this vector space, because that's pretty much how AI is built. But we know that that's not how humans think. Like, we know for a fact that the way AI thinks isn't the way that humans think. We don't know what creates
AI thinks
intelligence.
logically, and we think both logically and emotionally.
Yes, but also AI doesn't even necessarily think. It's a predictive model, right? So it's a text-based predictive model. So what it does is you use the word, and it then goes and it looks for the closest related word to that word in the vector space, right? And then that word again has connections to other words, and so that's how it understands what you're trying to say, but it doesn't actually understand what you're saying. Right? That's why you can end up with things like what they call AI hallucinations, where you ask the AI a question in a way that it's never been trained or asked to, and yet it still provides you with an answer because it just looked at every single individual word and found the closest related word to that word that gives you an answer, even though the answer is completely wrong. And oftentimes it's so wrong that people who at least have some knowledge of the answer goes, what the hell is this guy? What is this thing writing here? This makes no sense.
You saying that makes me want to go to ChatGPT and just say gooby gaga goo goo.
Unless it's been trained in it, or at least someone else has done it, and it sort of has the ability.
Just to see what happens, it's going to go like, what?
But
what do you mean?
It is not actually thinking, and this is the problem. They're promising people AGI. Every single one of the people who are involved in this now, who are starting to wake up, is starting to realize that AGI is not possible. We don't know how to build AGI because we don't even know how intelligence works. We don't know what it is. We just know that humans are it, but we don't know how it works. So here's the thing.
I'm still curious as to what happened to, like, what was it? It was Grok 3 or whatever in that one time that it just started going crazy and it's just like, I'm Mecha Hitler. And it's just like...
what the fuck? Elon Musk spoke about it. Like, he actually came out and he explained what happened. They gave Grok a new instruction to train. And the problem is it started training on a completely wrong set of data points. And it just started hardlining on this one set of data points. And it was literally one line of code that they
Grok
got
3
wrong.
saying, if I die tonight, at least I'll die based. Mecha Hitler for life, baby. It was like, what the hell was going? He was going crazy.
I mean, funny as all get up. But here's my brother's biggest concern. It's not AGI, because we now know that we can't actually build it. His biggest concern is...
I don't know if we can't build it. I think it's too soon to say we absolutely can't build it.
And we can't build it until we can understand it. And the fact that we don't yet understand it makes it very difficult to replicate, because we don't know where intelligence even comes from. We know we have it, we just don't know how to replicate it. But here's the big problem. They have all promised their investors AGI. Short of delivering AGI, they will have to deliver implementation, an application, because there needs to be a service here. And their answer to that is going to be mass replacement. And this is from one of the co-founders
but this is already
an AI
happening.
company. No.
Because like
we're only seeing...
They're already doing that on YouTube. They're replacing a lot of their staff with AI.
Yeah. Right now, what you're seeing is sort of the baseline implementation of just people seeing utility. What we're talking about is all of these companies stopping their focus on AGI because they realize it's not possible and actively shifting to mass replacement. Because remember, they have to keep their investors happy. They have to show their investors that there's an actual service here. And so the idea then becomes, let's just build the AI that replaces millions upon millions of jobs. Let's just do that now. Because this AGI thing isn't working out for us. We're just going to destroy humanity. Let's do that instead. That sounds like a great idea.
Seems like a reasonable... I think that's fantastic. I mean, I've already said it. There's not enough jobs to go around, like right now. And the more we keep implementing AI and automation keeps going forward, here's the thing. People might be like, well, that kind of sucks. And it's like, yeah, it sucks, but it's the most logical thing that we as humans need to do. We just need to figure out how to deal with, the people that don't have jobs. Right. And by the way, I'm saying this like I'm likely to be replaced by some AI. We already have like the AI on Twitch, whatever. I forget what their name is, but it's this AI that she's getting like 5,000 concurrent viewers, or maybe even more at this point. It was 5,000 last time I looked at it. It's like even content creators, we're all getting replaced. I'm not saying this is the guy working at McDonald's going to get replaced by a robot. Yeah, and the content creator is going to get replaced right alongside that. By AI models and shit like that. So even I'm going the way of the dodo. I'm just saying that we need to figure out as humanity, like, what are we going to do when, I don't know, 80% of people no longer have jobs?
You see, I don't
What's
necessarily...
gonna happen? All these people just get fucked? Like, that's it? I don't know, man. It's weird.
So I'm not worried, because even though it might cause some chaos in the beginning, we'll very quickly learn that creativity cannot come from just one place. Because the idea will be we replace all of these workers with AI, and then the smart people in the offices, they're the ones who's going to continuously reinvent and what's the word I'm looking for? When you're making something better, no, evolve's the right word.
Iterate.
Innovate.
Iterate.
Right? They're going to innovate.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to continuously push innovation. When you actually look at how innovation works, it tends to be people who are working on the ground having a breakthrough, realizing that, oh, wait, but we could actually do it this way, and it would be so much better. That's where innovation comes from. AI will never innovate. There will be zero innovation from AI side, because AI isn't built to innovate. It's not built to be creative. It's just built to do whatever you told it to do. So these companies are very quickly going to run into a scenario where they realize they're stagnating. And what's going to happen is all of these people who now don't have jobs are going to start innovating. They're going to come up with their own things to do. And it will eventually just lead to humanity realizing that we can coexist with AI, and it can certainly be an assistant, but it cannot replace. Because ultimately, only humans have the ability to creatively design, right? At least from the temporal space.
In the meantime,
it's gonna have some suffering.
People will starve.
Oh yeah,
billions of people will just straight up starve.
I don't know. I don't know if people are gonna starve. I think
die by the elements. It's like,
it's definitely going to get hard.
Billions of people will die. 100%, like in this scenario that you're talking about, 100%, literally billions of people will die.
Yeah, I imagine there will probably, so no matter how you slice it, there will be war. If the government suddenly, because when people say, oh, we just need to figure out how to take care of the unemployed, what most people are talking about is a payment, right? Some kind of check from the government to make sure that you don't starve. The problem with that is when you have a bunch of young men full of testosterone with nothing to do and feeling like they have no purpose, they very quickly figure out that, oh, but war is also purpose. It happens in Africa all the time, right? Young people are constantly pushing revolutions in Africa, because they live in countries where this reality is already happening. Most of the African countries, if you're 18 years old, what economic opportunity? There are no companies to work for. There's nothing. There's literally nothing as far as the eye can see.
I'm just saying that with AI, it's going to get worse. But that's not something that we can figure out in the podcast.
No, obviously. But whether the government gives a bunch of paychecks, it might slow it down. But eventually, you'll have a revolution led by a bunch of young men that are sick and tired of not feeling wanted. Or if the government does nothing, you'll just have a revolution. Right? Like, it doesn't matter. The one is just going to postpone the other, but it will end in revolution. And again, it'll be revolution driven by greed, because the top guys decided to put greed above everything else. We're just going to make as much money as possible without ever thinking, hey, humans derive a lot of value. from actually feeling needed, right? Like feeling like people depend on you matters. It's an important feeling. So yeah, it's gonna be, I don't know. It's gonna be a fun time.
No, I don't think it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a miserable time.
Yeah,
but
it's going to be fun in that it's interesting. Yeah,
there's
the Chinese saying, "May you live in interesting times," comes to mind because people think it's a nice saying, but it's actually a really bad saying. They're like, "May you live in interesting times."
Yeah. But this was brought up because there's a company called the Content Overseas Distribution Association, which is a content trade group that represents manga, anime, and games publishing in Japan. And they recently submitted a request to OpenAI asking it to stop using its members' content to train Sora 2 without permission. So Sora 2 being one of those video generator things that use AI, you put in a prompt and it generates a video real quick. Like we recently had the Coca-Cola AI video, the Coca-Cola's video for this year's Christmas was fully made by AI.
I didn't even see it.
And yeah, there's a lot of people arguing like, oh, this is absolute art. This is fantastic. And I'm just looking at it, it's like, looks sloppy as shit, but whatever. But basically, this company represents Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Cygames, and From Software's parent company, Kadokawa. So it's basically like, stop training Sora 2 on our anime content. That's kind of like the point. But yeah, it's just a request. I don't think that there's an official.
I will say, OpenAI is actually pretty good at dealing with those requests. If you could a while back literally change facial features, facial expressions from literally anyone. Like I put my president in there and I turned him into a clown and it did it. Just no questions asked. That's been completely changed. Like based on a request from people saying, hey, this isn't fine. You can't change the appearance of someone that's living. OpenAI now, if you put it into ChatGPT and you're like, hey, can you change this expression? They go, this is a real person. It's against my policies. So they'll probably do it, right? They've probably already got everything they need.
I think they'll just keep training the AI and they won't do anything, and they'll just say, "Oh no, we're not doing it." But there's a Japanese politician, Akihisa Shiozaki. He previously voiced concerns, and he said that as a country that has captivated the world with its creative powers, anime, games, and music, Japan has a responsibility to take the lead in creating rules. We must envision a society that does not fear technological advances, but does not lose sight of human dignity.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really powerful statement because I do believe that a lot of these people working on AI right now, they have no sight whatsoever for human dignity. They don't give a fuck. It's like,
no, of course not.
I'm gonna like, for instance, I'm 100% sure that some of my videos have been used to train AIs somewhere. There's
100%.
We're training the AI, and there's nothing you can do about it. Suck my dick. Like that's pretty much it. Like there's an AI that can perfectly replicate me right now already, and you, and likely most of other content creators, and we don't even know about it.
Dude, it's like your tweets.
It's like, yeah, it's done.
Your tweets, the fact that you're streaming, because I see you streaming on X all the time. Grok is scraping the crap out of all of that.
Grok, every time that I go live, Grok's like,
yeah, he's just sitting there slurping it
delicious.
Up. Right? And Google is doing the exact same thing. Your data is now the number one commodity in the world. And I'm not talking about Rurikhan's, I'm talking about everyone's. Your data is, when you go on YouTube and you leave a comment, you like, whatever you do, there are bots upon bots, AI upon AI, scraping the living crap out of you, trying to make sense of your life. Because it wants to know, how do I affect you? How do I get you to do the things that I want you to do? And how do I get you to do more of it? So yeah, that is absolutely going to happen. Speaking of that, our final story for the day. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because it has now sort of escalated to a lawsuit. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff about this. I have watched Emiru and her entire video on this. Actually, 2 of her video. I think she made 3 videos on it, or it might have been just 2. It all starts with Emiru and Twitch.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was such a bad thing because Twitch basically has no safety whatsoever at the event.
No.
So a random and here's the other thing about this as well, which is it was censored on YouTube for some channels, but not all.
Yeah.
When we were talking about this. But anyways, we're at Twitch. Emiru has to do a meet and greet because it's just like contractually obligated to do this meet and greet because she's being a featured content creator, and part of that is like contractually you have to do a meet and greet with fans. So she's doing her meet and greet, and some disgusting, vile human being.
Follow streamer, by the way. He's a streamer. It's not like Twitch didn't know who he was. He's an actual streamer. Yeah.
Okay. So he just goes in there, tries kissing her in the mouth.
Yeah.
Which is just really fucking weird. Absolutely never do that to literally anyone, regardless if it's man or woman, which now there's also been other sexual harassment stuff that has been popping up that's reverse. That's Uno reverse. We can like bring that up as well for the double standard. I'm sure you'll be very happy with that one. But
I saw the story. I haven't even followed it. But I know the story kind of.
But that stuff happened with Emiru, and Twitch did nothing.
Literally nothing.
At the beginning, they did literally nothing. They didn't even went to check up on her if she was okay.
They were legitimately like, if we pretend it didn't happen, maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah, maybe it didn't happen. So the one person that intervened was her personal bodyguard, which then there's another story where her usual bodyguard, her preferred bodyguard, is actually banned from TwitchCon.
Because he protected her.
He held somebody's arm while they waited for official security. Yeah. He held somebody's arm. This is a very violent thing. He held somebody's arm. Yeah, a stalker. He held a stalker's arm, which is just like whatever. But anyway, the guy intervened. Luckily, nothing really. Obviously, she's still sexually assaulted. There was an attempt made. Yeah. But dude was able to like push the guy away before he was able to actually get anything off there. But still, absolutely, that guy deserves like gigaban, all of that shit. Twitch did fuck all at the beginning. And then eventually, when her manager complained the fuckload, they're like, okay, so we'll ban them for 30 days. Yeah. 30-day ban for sexual assault, by the way.
Easy.
Isn't that jail time? Sexual assault? Shouldn't that be jail time? I don't know.
It should technically be jail time. But here's the kicker.
To me, it's like, listen, I'm gonna go one step above. But again, it has to be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. And in this case, it would have been because it's on camera. To me, it's like chemically castrate this person.
Let's turn your Audi into an innie. Easiest way to deal with that.
Okay, that's a different operation altogether.
I'm just saying that's what we should be doing. I just want to point out.
Fuck that guy. Absolutely.
I just want to point out, right, that the only reason Twitch eventually did act up wasn't even because her manager complained.
It was because the clip went viral. It
was because someone posted the clip online and it went viral. The world kind of went, Twitch, what the hell is going on?
30-day ban? What? Excuse me?
So Twitch wasn't even doing it out of decency. They were doing it to save face.
Yeah, and then Twitch comes out, it's like, oh no, we instantly, went in there and we solved everything. And then Emiru comes out, it's like, no, you're lying. That's a lie. You lying sack of shit. You're just fucking lying.
Liar,
big old fat liar. Yeah, good old Dan Clancy, the liar. Just like, bro was too busy partying to give a fuck about what was happening to Emiru. But then the best part is there's an interview.
He was with our son. He was with our son in his hotel room.
Maybe. Yeah, something. But there was an interview with him and Taylor Lorenz wherein she asked specifically about this. And he basically said, I guess Emiru should have curated her community better.
Wait,
she should have banned this. Yeah, you didn't see this part?
No.
Dude, this was the most hilarious part. This was hilarious. So since then he's apologized for this because this happened a while ago. But like in the interview, in the moment, he's like, well, as streamers, we have a responsibility to curate our audience. Somebody's in your chat, you don't like him, you ban them.
Yeah, but this guy...
That was his argument. He's like, she didn't curate her audience.
This guy was an IRL. It was in real life.
Yeah, I know. She should have just banned him from real life.
Yeah, she should have just.
You know how you ban somebody from real life?
Wait, what?
You know, because there's a lot of guns in America. There's a lot of ways of banning people from real life. You can just ban somebody from real life. I just don't think it's legal, but you can do it. You can just, hey, listen, bro, you stepped out of line. I'm banning you from real life. You're done.
It's just instant.
Go back to being a viewer in hell or heaven. I don't know, but you're banned from real life. Pow, goodbye. What do you mean? You ban somebody and then suddenly they just don't show up? If anything, when you ban people, it further incentivizes this type of behavior because they get like, oh, I can't believe it, but I love you. You need to be with me. Why would you ban me? It's like it just makes you. Oh God,
dude. The thing that I think. The thing that upset me... It
was such a terrible take.
The thing that upset me a lot about it was first and foremost watching Emiru going through that video, right? Because you can tell how incredibly uncomfortable she is with dealing her personal life online, right? She doesn't want to share personal stuff online. And you can tell that. A lot of girls, right? And I'm not trying to make any sort of judgment, but a lot of girls with stuff like this, it's almost like when they finally speak about it, you can tell they couldn't wait for something like this to happen.
Oh, yeah.
This is their moment.
Like, oh, thank God.
They're going to milk
it's
the living
now.
crap out of this, right?
Fucking 1,000 concurrents, baby. Look at this shit.
Look at me
Look
go.
at all these fucking simps. Let's go.
Yeah, with Emiru, you could tell she just wanted this done. Like, she just needs this part over so that she can move on with her life and get back to cosplay and having fun, not dealing with real life. And that always hits harder because you can tell how genuine it is.
Yeah.
The other part is Emiru isn't really a sexualized streamer, right? She doesn't put herself out there in that way. So the fact that this guy
she might have like the sexy cosplays every now and then, but it's not like she's over there doing like crazy ASMR stuff. She actually plays games on her stream. She plays games and she cosplays and usual
she's in her pajamas, in her sweatpants most of the time, just chilling. And even when she's doing the sexy cosplay, she's not trying to be sexy. She's just having fun with her girlfriends on camera. So the fact that this guy would do that to her, it's sort of like an added, like, even when a girl isn't putting herself out there all the time, you thought that that's okay for you. Like, I can understand if it's one of those titty streamers that literally they're making it their
even that,
business.
That's not okay.
No.
That's still not okay.
No. But to explain it to you this way, it's sort of like in a world where you could try to make a case for this, right? If it's a titty streamer whose entire business model is trying to convince you that we're in a relationship so that you give them more and more money, right? You can sort of understand how this guy could get his wires crossed a little bit, right? Not making... Wait. Let me just finish this, because it's important that people understand the point I'm trying to make. I am not saying that in any world is there any real justification for what happens, right? For someone doing this.
Making that clear.
But you can understand why some people might get their wires crossed, especially when you have these people who are actively playing into that fantasy. Like, they're egging you on because they know you give more money as a result of it. So you can sort of go, okay, I can see why this guy got confused. Still mega effed up, but I can see the confusion, at least to some extent, for this guy. Whereas here, there's no lines being crossed. Emiru doesn't play the relationship game with people, right? She doesn't do that. She doesn't play that sort of parasocial game. Yeah. So it's sad to see that happen to her. And then it gets worse when you finally see what happens literally the week later.
Wait. Before we get to that,
I'm just saying it gets worse.
One more, it gets even worse. But there was another thing that took place afterwards. What was it? God damn it! Because like I had it, and then you started talking about this other stuff, and I kind of forgot about it.
I can't
because
remember.
there's more stuff that happened around this, around still the event that took place. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that this happened and it was publicized because Emiru is like a huge streamer.
Yeah.
Imagine how many other female Twitch streamers and VTubers and all of that stuff might have gotten sexually assaulted or harassed at TwitchCon, and we don't even know about it because, quite simply, they're not big enough. And Twitch took no additional precautions for the other female streamers that were also doing meet and greets. They did nothing, absolutely nothing. And this guy was allowed to just like walk out. And the fact that they thought it was okay, we'll just give him like a 30-day ban and that's fine. It's like that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like what are you talking about? 30-day ban, especially when he was talking about, oh, you should have banned this person from your community. It's like, there's something special about you, Dan Clancy. There's definitely something special about you.
But this is now. I mean, the problem here is how many controversies is one too many controversy.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, Carnage. We didn't even go through this, and it's a bit of a long message. But Carnage has this entire post on X where he effectively speaks about. I'll just read you guys a bit of this. We're not going to go through all of it, but what I would do is not popular. What I would do, people wouldn't like. What I would do would lose money. What I would do is change the system fundamentally. What I would do to Twitch would most likely not work. What does that mean? It means if it were up to me, Twitch would become about video games again. No IRL, no politics, nothing that isn't directly related to gaming culture in some way.
I felt this in my heart when I read this tweet, bro. I was like, yes!
I agree.
Damn, bro.
I fundamentally agree. I think the problem with Twitch is that it's playing in an ocean that it itself does not understand, and it's making matters constantly worse for everyone, right? Because it doesn't have the ability to curate or to regulate its own site. And we're talking about real life here. You can't even keep your preferred streamers, the ones that you are in contract with, the ones that's making you money, your cash cows, you can't even keep safe.
Yeah.
Right? And this isn't the only time this has happened. Like the last TwitchCon, you had a girl break her coccyx because of your ball thing being too shallow and literally not safe for people to actually play in. And it's just
there's actually safety regulations for those things.
Yeah, like how deep must it be? How many balls and layers must be in it? You guys just went a couple of balls, let's go, and told no one literal concrete below it, by the way. If you jump, you'll break something. It's like, oh, maybe that should have been information shared. Like,
yeah, you should have led with that one. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah.
You know,
not very good when it comes to safety, this company.
No.
But yeah. And then after that, she goes on to tell the story about Ms. Kiff. So tell us about that one.
So this is where I don't want to spend too much time because it is now a lawsuit. There's a lot of stuff happening there. So Emaru comes out and she effectively breaks the facade that was Ms. Kiff. She effectively accuses him, and I won't go into detail on this stuff because some of it isn't really YouTube friendly or family friendly rather, but she effectively accuses him of definite abuse, right? Like emotional abuse, absolutely. This guy was breaking walls, punching doors, screaming and yelling and manipulation, a lot of emotional manipulation. So he was mentally abusing her. He was emotionally abusing her. Most likely some physical abuse in there as well. And then sexual abuse. Like there was at least, to some extent, at least some borderline sexual abuse that may or may not have occurred during their relationship. Right? And all of it stems. And by the way, a lot of this is then backed up by Asmongold, who can confirm a lot of this stuff that Emaru accused him of. Now, again, I'm not going to go into the details of this because Miskiff is on a suing spree. He's filed a lawsuit. He's suing Emaru and Asmongold.
Bro, imagine him suing Mythic Banter.
Hey,
Miskiff sues Mythic Banter. Dude, that would be our shot. That would be our shot at the big league.
But fundamentally, he's suing them now for this. And I actually watched a lawyer on YouTube go through the lawsuit and say this is one of the worst lawsuits ever. And it literally screams ego.
Super frivolous.
Yeah. He's on an ego trip right now. And he doesn't seem to realize that with this lawsuit, everything will be made public. Because lawsuits are public.
Oh, yeah.
So depositions, all of it now becomes public.
Bro, Asmongold's going to stream the whole thing.
Yeah, and Asmongold's going to stream the whole thing, right?
Showing up to court with like one of those backpacks with the live stream thing.
Yeah.
He's like, "Sup, boys? It's your boy Asmongold. I'm here with the judge."
The sad part of Miskif's entire thing is that all of it stems from Mythik having self-esteem.
Being a fucking clout goblin.
Well,
being a clout goblin, that's what it's all about.
It's self-esteem issues. Mythik has a self-esteem issue. And as a result of this, he would constantly hound Emeru when she had, for example, they weren't allowed to stream at the same times because she would take his viewers. She would have more viewers than he has, and that would be a problem for him.
Accolonn, how dare you stream at the same time as me, you motherfucker. Yeah.
He eventually would control what she was allowed to wear on stream, what times she were allowed to stream, what she could do on stream. Drops, he would oftentimes throw fits when she would have more viewers than he would have during a drop stream. And he would just be a child about this stuff, right?
Bro, imagine like your significant other is doing significantly better than you.
Yeah.
And this somehow upsets you.
I don't understand.
I can't even begin to fathom like my wife suddenly getting like some crazy career break and all of a sudden, let's say she's making like fucking 10K a month or something ridiculous like that, which is never going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it will, but I highly doubt it's ever going to happen. But
yeah,
let's say she does that. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm making like maybe 1K on YouTube or something like that. So the power shifts. I'm be like, first thing I'm going to do, go up to her and be like, babe, what do you need me to mop the floor? You need me to vacuum the house? Need me to take the kids to school? Let's go. Whatever you need to keep making those 10K, you go and you do, and I'll take care of everything else. And I'll just live in permanent vacation. Bro, I don't even understand why people have a problem with this. I'm like, bro, I will just live in permanent. I will take care of the kids. I'll be happier. I will be happier because I can spend more time with my kids.
Yeah,
what the fuck do you mean? And she can go pursue her career. It's like, I do not understand these dynamics of like, no, I need to be more successful than my significant other. I need to be this. It's like, I don't put that shit on myself.
The thing is,
whichever one of us makes the most money as a provider, boom, game over.
Well, I personally believe that as a man, you should be providing, but I don't believe that means that you cut off your significant other from providing. It means you work harder, right? If your wife is earning more than you, what the hell are you doing, right? Put yourself in a position where you out-earn her to the point where she works because she wants to work, not because she has to work, right? That's at least my thinking on it.
With that. I understand the point of view, and I kind of like agree with part of it, but at the other end, I'm just like, well, if she has that massive opportunity, you can just do the other stuff around the house, and that is just like a massive.
So the thing is, there's a part where men should absolutely do chores around the home, but there's also more than enough evidence of men who become the house husband, and a few years later, that man becomes the divorced husband. Because as it turns out, while women want to claim the boss mode, once that happens, they lose respect very fast. Because you go from being the man that's supposed to protect her to her now being the woman that's supposed to provide, and that just creates a weird blurring of the lines. So it doesn't actually play out the way that you would think. But even then, we can have different opinions on this, and it's perfectly fine. I personally believe that as a man, you should take care of the business. If your wife wants to work, that's her choice, but she should be in a position where she doesn't have to. However, That's provided you have a wife who isn't more successful than you at the time of marriage. But if you married someone like Emiru, for example, or if I married someone like Emiru, she is vastly more successful than than I am. And she was more successful than what Miskiv was when they started dating. So why would this be a problem? Yeah, she was. Miskiv wasn't that successful. Miskiv was never that big. Miskiv was only ever big when OTK would have events and stuff. But
Miskiv was still big.
Miskiv was big in terms of Twitch big, but Miskiv was never a big streamer on his own. He would be big with certain events, but in terms of like...
he was big with collabs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Miskiv himself was never that big of a streamer. Emiru was for like... I think even at the time that they started dating, she was one of the largest female streamers on the platform, right? So she was always very successful. So the idea that from there, you're going to turn around and be like, no, you can't be that successful. It's like, bro, if you didn't want to have a girlfriend that's more successful than you, why did you date her? Like, go for anyone else then, right? In the same vein, when Miskiv would not have her wear certain clothes and he would not allow her to cosplay, the thinking is, okay, and this is just, it shows you the kind of guy that he was and how big his self-esteem issues were. Because Emiru isn't a titty streamer. Even her cosplays aren't super revealing. It's not like she wears clothes where she's basically naked. Right? That's not who Emiru is. She puts a lot of thought and effort into her cosplays to make it look literally like the characters that she's cosplaying. The fact that he would turn around there and go, no, you can't do that anymore, just shows you the jealousy, right? Like, this guy was just consumed with jealousy. And it ended up being a pretty big thing with Asmongold even confirming that a lot of this stuff is what's happened. And I just find it interesting that Miskiv is, once again, the Hassan gang. He's one of those people that are all for women's rights and all for female empowerment. And, on the surface says all the right things. Remember, he's one of the guys that criticized Charlie Kirk. He celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk for being a right-wing grifter. He criticized Asmongold a lot because after the whole fallout between him and OTK, he went super far to the left. And now it turns out, pretty much like every other male feminist, just a bad guy. That's great. And of course, I mean male feminist in the third wave feminist.
That's a pretty big generalization, but I'm not going to argue that. Like,
no, I mean third wave feminist, not because feminist in terms of men and women are equal. Yeah, I don't think there's many people who disagree with that. Third wave feminist in terms of women should get all these special protections and stuff. I don't see why anyone would agree with that. But anyways, Miskiv is doing all this stuff. There's a lawsuit currently happening. We don't know the outcome or if it's even gonna, like, is Emiru gonna clap back?
I'll tell you what the outcome is gonna be of that lawsuit. A whole lot of content. That's the outcome.
Asmongold's gonna eat
Asmongold's gonna feast on that lawsuit, bro. He's gonna fucking feast.
On the entire, and this is just more proof to me that Twitch needs to get away from the IRL stuff, get away from this nonsense, and get back to gaming. Because this stuff would not be happening if it was just video games. But dude, there is a gap in the market for a streaming service that just celebrates gaming. That doesn't care about all this other stuff.
Wouldn't that be great?
I say this as a political content creator. I make political videos. It's literally the job that I do. And I can tell you that I don't want to see Twitch full of politics. Twitch is at its best when it's just people playing video games. When it's just people chilling and having fun. Because, whenever you get into live stream politics, it sells itself to extremism, having ever more extreme opinions. Because what else are you supposed to do? You have to keep things interesting. You have to keep your audience coming back every single day. So you sort of incentivize to just get more and more extreme, no matter what you do. It's annoying. But that's it from us, I think. Unless you have anything else you want to add.
Yes. I want to add that I want to go have lunch. That's what I want
All
to
right.
do.
So Rurikhan's being a little bitch. He wants to go have lunch.
No, listen. I worked out immediately before the podcast and I haven't eaten for 3 hours. I need to replenish my protein levels so that my muscles regenerate.
You
and
work
become
out?
Stronger. 4 days a week.
Where's the muscles?
Every week.
I see no muscles.
That's because I don't work out for the purpose of just like building muscle. I work out for the purpose of being strong. You never seen those guys that will do like, for instance, like climbers and shit?
Yeah.
Like where they have actual strength. Then you see like the guys are all like popped up like balloons.
Yeah.
And they're like struggling to get the weight. And then the climber goes in there, just like, yep, no problem.
Oh, you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to preach to me. I was joking about that, but I go to the gym 3 days a week, and the thing that I'm currently working, I have a trainer, not a personal trainer. It's like this group class. It's mostly free weights and stuff, but he focuses on exactly that, right? Strength. It's not about what the muscles look like.
Yeah.
It's about functionality first. So how functional is the muscle and how strong is the muscle at doing what it's supposed to be doing?
For me, it's two things, which is it is the functionality, being able to actually, lift weights if I need to do it in a practical way.
Yeah.
But also maintenance, because like we stand around and sit around for way too long as content creators. Got to move around. And get your
Oh yeah, that's one of the things I've enjoyed about.
I'm agile, bro. Look at me. Like. I can go to like Content Clash, beat some motherfucker up. Oh wait, that was canceled. Never mind.
Yeah, I've it's one of the things I've enjoyed about not streaming anymore. Although I want to get back to streaming, but it is sort of one of the things I've enjoyed about not streaming anymore is the fact that I get to walk around and move around a lot more nowadays. Like I'll spend very little time sitting here. Most of my time is either downstairs,
that's smart,
reading or looking through things or moving around, right? Going to the beach, walking, and just having fun. So, yeah. But anyways, Rurikhan, thank you so much for joining me once again for another episode of the Mythic Banter. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, be good to each other, be kind to each other. Massive shout out and thank you to all of our YouTube channel members. To become a YouTube channel member, hit the join button right below this video. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, and we will see all of you in the next one. Peace.